Didi Gregorius had a great season last year, hitting .287 with 25 home runs.
How does Didi Gregorius come over from the Arizona Diamondbacks, where he was known as a light-hitting shortstop that they weren't really sure about, so they let him go? He shows up in New York and goes crazy. 25 homers, hitting in the number 4 spot today. Won't be hitting in the 4 spot during the rest of the year.
So. No, not with Giancarlo Stanton, of course, and Aaron Judge,
Sanchez,
Gary Sanchez.
Any of those guys.
Do you think the ballpark had a lot to do with his power surgence?
Well, you know, I mean, it wasn't like he hit all his home runs to right field.
Well,
this guy's got popped from both sides.
He's a great player. I'm not taking that away from him, but you know, playing in Arizona versus in New York is a little different too.
Yeah.
Xander Bogaerts out into left. We'll put that away. So Johnson does a nice job pitching around the double. And the Sox are coming up for the first time here against the Yankees. Back at JetBlue Park, Fenway South. Red Sox about to bat here against right-hander Chance Adams of the Yankees. Good lineup today. Mookie Betts in right, Jackie Bradley in center. Handley is the DH. Mitch Moreland at first base. Xander Bogaerts the shortstop. Brock Holt at second. Sandy Leon doing the catching. Steve Selsky in left field. Chad De La Guerra at third base and batting ninth against Adams, a former relief pitcher turned starter, one of the Yankees' top prospects.
Oh, he had great numbers. You see what he threw up there. He's got an ERA of under 3 in 2 different divisions. Let's go defensively now for your New York Yankees. Cave, Hicks, and McKinney around the outfield. In the infield, Drury, Gregorius, we mentioned him already. One of the top prospects there at second base, Torres. And around the rest of the way, Greg Bird at first, Adams, and Austin Romine behind the plate.
Mookie, 24 home runs, 102 runs batted in last season. Of course, he'll be the Red Sox leadoff man in 2018. And today, Jackie hitting behind him in the regular season, which gets underway on the 29th of March. It'll be Andrew Benintendi in the 2 spot. Into center, a sinking liner that Hicks will handle for the first out. Let's find out what Garen Austin is working on today. Garen?
Hi, OB. Well, Drew Pomeranz left the game yesterday due to forearm tightness. I've got an update on his status, plus when we can expect to see Eduardo Nunez in a game, and the latest on the Kimbrel family. And guys, later on, I'm going to be talking about why I run to home base every year.
Outstanding. Thank you, Garen.
She does. She trains for that thing every year, too.
It's not an easy race to run.
No, it isn't.
I'm thinking about maybe possibly running.
Hey, don't make that public until you make a decision.
I know, but
but you can't couch it any more than, well, maybe, possibly.
Yeah.
So we'll see how the training goes, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I'm suffering from old age right now, so if my training goes well, that I will publicly announce it. I'm gonna.
Well, you look like you're doing just fine, but what hurts on you right now?
it'd be easy to tell you what doesn't hurt on me right
Body.
now.
Body. Everything hurts.
You know, it's funny as a player. You know, I used to love spring training, getting in shape, and I come over here kind of as a coach or mentor, and it's the standing around that kills me. My low back, you know, is like, I'm used to moving around. I'm used to actually getting out of the golf cart, taking a couple swings, and then sitting back down.
Yeah.
So standing on my feet for 2 or 3 hours in the morning has really taken its toll. I know people feel sorry for me.
Yeah, everybody's like,
exactly.
you know, because as ball 4 on Jackie Bradley, because Tim Wakefield, we all recall, is, you know, on the mound for usually not much more than 2 hours and 27 minutes. And can I tell you how much I miss those days?
I miss them too, because it's hard for me sometimes to watch games. And I don't know what has changed in the game that has led to this, but maybe it's because I was just a one-pitch pitcher. I didn't really have to think too much. But I always felt, you know, when I came up through the minor leagues and with Pittsburgh, that, you know, our motto in Pittsburgh was, we work fast, we throw strikes, and we change speeds.
Yep.
Working fast keeps your defense on their toes, and it has an advantage against the hitter that you're facing too.
And you did it unfailingly. And you know, I'm not gonna lie to you, when I saw your name every 5th day, I circled that in red because I knew I'd actually get home for dinner. You know, because you were pitching.
Yeah, good, bad, or indifferent. It was going to happen fast.
200
quick
wins.
one way or another.
Yes, exactly.
200 wins. It happened a lot. So I get the getting old part, though. Man, it's like, you know, you wake up in the morning and you're sore, and you're like, all I did was sleep.
Yeah. I feel like I want to run in that every year too. It's my knees that tell me I can't.
Yeah. It's such a great cause. It raises a lot of good money for the home base program during this run to home base. And well, I know we're talking about it now, but I'm on the subject. It was an honor. You know, I think a couple times it was during my kids' summer vacation that we had them on, but I got a chance to stand at home plate and greet people as they cross the finish line, and it's really awesome that they actually finish the race inside Fenway Park and they get to touch home plate. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's what I usually do, is show up there and say thank you very much when they get to the end of the thing, which is nice because I knew I couldn't do it.
I like to do what the soldiers do that run in. They run in full gear and packs on their back.
Yeah.
And it's a 10K, right?
Yeah, and they're used to carrying that stuff.
Yes, I know.
It's incredible. Kurt Power, in fact, a retired sergeant, United States Army, and a Purple Heart recipient, will be joining us. He served in Iraq, and a former patient at home base as well. He'll be with us a little bit later. So obviously we salute Kurt and his service to our country. We'll talk more about home base as we discuss the Red Sox Foundation and all the great work it does to educate and to heal. Hanley, 23 homers, 62 RBIs a season ago. Got a runner on at first base as Jackie Bradley took ball 4. No score in the first inning. And on deck, Mitch Moreland, who's at first today. Sox are 7-2 here in Florida, after Sam Travis and Andrew Benintendi both homered on Friday in a 9-6 win against St. Louis over in Jupiter.
Travis homered twice.
And Blake Swihart keeps on hitting. He had an RBI single in that win.
Yeah, they looked a little better in that game than the one we did, huh?
Yeah, I think we've got to take the blame for that.
It was our fault.
A couple of days ago in West Palm, that did not go. But the Red Sox have had precious few moments like that in this spring, which has gone about as smooth as it can to this point. Yep. Garen mentioned Pomerantz with a little tightness in the forearm, but I don't think anyone's concerned about that.
No, I wouldn't be concerned. It's too early in the spring. You know, it's better to be more cautious this early in spring, knowing that he's going to be one of your 5 starters to open the season, and to make sure that he's healthy when the season starts.
We've literally seen him take himself out of games with forearm tightness and then not miss a start. Comes right back his next start. He's ready to go.
Runner goes and no throw as Jackie goes diving into second base with the theft. So stolen base for JBJ in a scoring position.
Now, Jackie looks so good this spring too. Just a different air of confidence to his game this year, and great jump right there, and easily steals that base. Trying something new down here in spring training. We got the little double box. We'll show you 2 different views of what we're looking at.
So it's spring training for us as a broadcast too, as we try stuff out. We're working on some stuff.
Learning something. We're working on some stuff. We might not have a good day today because we're working on stuff.
McKinney makes a catch. Jackie's going to stay put. So 2 down as Hanley flies to right to bring up Moreland. The 2018 Red Sox will be bidding for a 3rd consecutive American League East crown, and it begins on March 29th at Tampa Bay. Red Sox with a chance to get off to a very nice start. You don't want to jinx anything, but the schedule makers have put the Red Sox in position, if they play really well, to get off to a good start.
Tampa Bay 10 times in April.
Yep, Tampa Bay, Miami.
I never really looked at the schedule as a barometer of how well you can get started. It's a matter of your, in my opinion, your attitude when you leave spring training, knowing that even the Tampa Bays can beat you at any given time, and
sure.
Usually the tough teams play you the hardest. So, and I've also been on teams in spring training that think that we can just flip the switch on when spring training's over and the season starts, and we get off to a bad start. So it's a matter of I think your attitude when you leave here, that you are ready and prepared to win as many games as you can, because this season is long. It's a marathon. You always want to get off to a good start and finish strong as well.
And you have to play everybody eventually. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what Tony La Russa says, right? Start fast, finish strong.
I think it's very important to get off to a really good start, and you got to be prepared for that. You just can't expect it to happen,
because it's going to be a heck of a race.
Yes.
With these guys, in all likelihood, you never know who else in the division. Into the shift, throw to first, going to be close, and he got him to retire the side. Red Sox will strand 1. It's Red Sox Foundation Game Day on NESN all game long. We'll be joined by guests from the Sox Foundation as well as members of partnerships and programs. Let's take a closer look now at the Red Sox Foundation. That is the Red Sox Foundation at work, and we'll be talking about the foundation throughout the day today. Delighted to be joined by Becca Sallwasser, the executive director of the Red Sox Foundation. Brand new to the job, relatively speaking, but great to have you with us.
Thank you. It's very exciting to be here.
Well, we've been building you up. So I know you're going to come in and hit a home run, but one of the things everybody talks about with you, Becca, is your great devotion and your great energy to this. And you've got to love it, but talk about that a little bit, your dedication to the foundation and what your expectations are.
Yeah, so I think being a former pro athlete myself, I have always known that sport can benefit young people in a very powerful way. So I've always had a personal mission of making sure that I can give back to athletes, to the community, through sport. And so having worked at the Celtics, having run many nonprofits that serve young people, this is the best job I could ever hope for, to be able to work with a brand and a really impactful foundation like the Red Sox Foundation and be at the helm to be able to guide all these resources into the New England community and really change lives is just incredible.
What are you most excited about your new role here with the Red Sox Foundation? We talked about it, but your new mission statement, so to speak.
Yeah.
When you said it, I was really excited to hear what you had to say. But tell the viewers what most excites you about this new role.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the mission is very powerful of the foundation, and that's to make a difference in the lives of children, families, veterans, and communities in need by improving their health, education, and recreational opportunities. And that's a very large, bold mission statement, but one that I think the foundation has all the resources in the world to achieve. You see that through our partnerships and through our programs. Partnerships with the Jimmy Fund, DIMIC with Home Base, and then the programs that we ourselves run, RBI and Red Sox Scholars Program. We are literally donating millions into the community, changing lives every single day, and to be at the helm, like I said, and direct some of that giving and change is just a dream come true.
Awesome.
2 fast outs here. And what makes the foundation so unique onto itself? Maybe different from some of the other things you've done.
Yeah. I think being able to both give and do at the same time. So we are a public charity. We're a foundation that raises millions of dollars every single year and then donates that money out. So that's a very unique position as a nonprofit to be in, to be able to leverage dollars to make impact while running our own programming is something that a lot of nonprofits don't do. And I think that makes us unique. That makes us a distinguished foundation. And again, to be the leader of that is really, really special.
And being the largest sports foundation in the country of all the major sports is pretty amazing what the Red Sox Foundation has accomplished since the inception in 2003.
I know. I mean, I'm a little intimidated by our history and being the largest, and it's amazing. And I started just 2 months ago, and already I felt the power that is the Red Sox Foundation since its inception in 2002 with the new leadership and ownership group. They've been incredibly supportive. They have a bold vision that I'm here to see through, and I think we have all the power and the brand in the world to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Runner on at first and 2 down as we visit with Becca. And there's so many touchstones within the foundation. It's kind of amazing. And you're talking about home base, and my own son is a veteran and just returned from Afghanistan a month ago. And I thought about him every time anything connected to home base came up last year. And you can touch people on so many levels with this foundation.
Yeah. No, we have, and that's exactly why the mission is so bold and so big, is that we know there are many demographics of people, veterans, communities, families, that want to be involved in the foundation, and that we have the resources to help with. So, again, my father is a veteran, my uncle is a veteran, and so it's an organization that is near and dear to my heart as well.
Well, I'm excited to work with you and for you.
Oh, thank you.
I know we met for the first time last night.
I know.
Since you took over in January, I've been wanting to reach out and get you were underwater for the first 2 months. I know. So, but I'm really excited to start this new venture with you as the executive director of the Red Sox Foundation, and anything I can do to help, please don't hesitate to ask.
Well, I'll let you know that everybody I talk to is like, yeah, Becca, whatever. Tim, on the other hand, so I will be calling you.
Yes.
We're all used to that, by the way.
I believe it. I absolutely believe it.
We know where that's going. You're standing next to Wake. I mean, Mr. Everything.
This is the face of the Red Sox Foundation, not me.
No,
so
thank you.
I'm going to work for her and with her at the same
thank
time.
you.
So yeah, I'm excited.
Well, thank you. We can't forget our board chair, Tom Warner, who has been incredibly supportive and there from the start. And I'm here to help see his vision through. And I think with his support, we're able to do that as well.
Tom, among many things, so instrumental in the home base program, and I know how important that is to him and the foundation in its entirety. Mile high pop up, and Xander Bogaerts looking up into the sun. We'll set that one down. 1 man left for the Yankees. And no score here in this one. Well, great to have you with us, and I know you will be throughout the day. Red Sox Foundation auctioning off today's game-used jerseys featuring the Red Sox Foundation patch, and you can bid online right now for your favorite player's jersey at redsox.com/RSF auction. The bidding right now, it's live as we speak, and you can bid until Friday, March 16 at 4 p.m. We'll be back with more on Red Sox Foundation Game Day on NESN right after this.
Okay.
And scoreless to the bottom half of the second inning. Bogarts, Holt, and Leone for the Red Sox. Becca, by the way, do you have a happy birthday announcement?
I do. I'd be the worst mom in the world if I didn't wish my 3-year-old a happy birthday. So happy birthday, Nico. I love you. Mommy's coming home soon.
Oh, Nico. You kicked the soccer ball around already with Nico, by the way, because you were a professional soccer player and you played at Brown. And
that's right.
And you were a goal scorer.
Well, he couldn't be here because he was home training right now,
Training.
obviously. Yeah,
Right.
he's out there on the field.
Base hit for Xander Bogarts to lead things off. Are you a good mommy?
Thank you.
How many for you?
3 under 4.
All under the age of 4.
That's right.
And the foundation.
That's right.
Yes. Superwoman.
Thank you.
You'll have no life for the next 20 years.
or the life.
Yes.
Thank you, Becca. Brock Holt will step in. Red Sox with their first hit of the day. And Brock Holt at second today. Sandy Leone on deck. Packed house for the Red Sox and the Yankees. Won't be the first time we'll say that in 2018.
You might not ever not say that.
I would bet. With the sky-high expectations of both franchises. So Romine out for a mound visit.
That's one.
The new rule this season, of course, is each team gets 6 mound visits. Umpires will be in charge of keeping track of those in the hope to speed the pace of play, something that Tim Wakefield never had to worry about. His game zipped along, but that is not the case with a lot of games. And Wake, I'm not surprised that you were all for that, moving games along. If you can do it with the new rule.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is the answer to this. I don't know if limiting mound visits or, I kind of like the pitch clock to be able to deliver a pitch in a certain amount of time. But it's something that has, affected the game. It's affected our viewership, obviously. And I think, the numbers show that we're kind of losing the youth to our game, to other sports, to lacrosse, to basketball, to football, and it's something that I hate to see go away because in my mind this is America's pastime, and more kids should still play the sport.
I agree, and obviously we want people to continue to watch and watch as long as you can, but viewership is declining across the board in virtually all sports, but in some not the case, like the NBA, for example, where those ratings continue to be through the roof. And of course we tend to fixate on television ratings, but it's more than that. It's your inclination to come to the ballpark, and younger fans, we want them to do that because we love the game.
Right. Yeah, and again, I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. I don't have the answer to why the game has gone slower. And I think we're being a little over analytical about this because it's only 10 more minutes than what it was in my era when I played 10, 15 years ago. But that seems to be enough to make a difference of losing the viewership. How we fix that, I don't know. I know Tom's part of the group that's trying to change this and come up with ways to change and speed up the game a little bit. But I don't. You can attest to this, but. A lot of it has to do, I think it starts in high school and college, that pitchers and catchers don't call their own games anymore. It's coming from the bench, and that might have an effect on when they get to this level or where they get to the minor leagues. They've never practiced calling their own game, and they're waiting for somebody to help them, and it might take a little bit longer.
Most baseball fans will tell you they don't care how long the game is. If it's a nice, crisply played game, that's fun to watch. No one's really looking at their watch if they're watching a good baseball game.
As long as there's action. Runner goes.
Like this.
Torres flipped in and got him. Play at first and got him there.
I think the action starts with the starting pitcher or the pitcher that's on the mound. Being able to throw strikes consistently is going to create, the offense, forcing them to swing the bat. And I think that's what I think some viewerships talk about is being able to throw strikes consistently and speed up the game a little bit.
Xander had to get out of the way of the baseball, and then that little hitch jumping over the ball made it so they couldn't be safe at second base, and they turned a double play. To me, that's the key right there, and you said it in a different way than I have been saying it. You want to speed up games, call more strikes.
Yeah.
You know, and I was a hitter, so I'd be mad at myself for saying that, because I don't really want to be the hitter up there thinking the strike zone's getting a lot bigger. But the strike zone has gotten much, much smaller. Call more strikes. Make sure the hitters know that you're going to have to be aggressive at the plate. You're going to have to go up there and swing the bat, and that will keep things moving. You know, these days, every hitter's 3-2.
Well, in defense of that, too, is the lineups, in my mind, have gotten deeper. You know, the old National League where it's only the 3, 4, 5 hitters that you need to worry about has changed drastically. So from a pitcher's point of view, you have to be careful
with everybody.
With everybody, from 1 to 9. So I think that might have a little effect of the time of game. Again, I was a one-pitch pitcher, so I really didn't have to think too much. I was going to throw a knuckleball whether you liked it or not, and I was going to try to throw it for strikes, and I was going to force you to swing the bat. But when starting pitchers have 3 or 4 pitches, they really need to be careful, because these lineups are so deep from 1 to 9, especially in the American League.
Torres will fire on to get him, and Sandy Leon retired. That is all for the Red Sox. It's Red Sox Foundation Game Day on NESN. Since 1953, the Red Sox partnership with the Jimmy Fund at Dana-Farber has supported life-saving research and exceptional patient care. Let's take a closer look.
There's no greater relationship between a charity and a sports team than the one between the Jimmy Fund and the Boston Red Sox. Beyond just raising money at Fenway, bonds are built between patients like me and players who wear the Red Sox uniform. My name is Tara Daniels. I'm 25 years old, and I grew up in Bellingham, Massachusetts. So the first time I was a junior in high school, I was 16. The doctor looked at my hands, and then she looked at my face, and she said, you know, you are looking kind of pale. Maybe we can do a chest x-ray and some blood work. And it was around 3 o'clock the next morning that they finally told us, hey, you're going to be here for a while. You have leukemia. It wasn't about the treatment part of it so much as it was about the relationships forged and the people you met and the things that they did to help take your mind off of what you were going through. To be honest with you, I feel like I wouldn't still be alive if I weren't in this area, and if I weren't afforded the opportunity to come here. If I had gone to another hospital, I don't think that I would have gotten the same treatment. I don't think that the same protocols would have been, you know, afforded to me, and I think that I would have succumbed to this disease a lot sooner if not for Dana-Farber and the Jimmy Fund and everything that they've been able to offer me.
Top 3, no score. Red Sox and the Yankees for the first time. Partnership with the Jimmy Fund going back to 1953. WEEI and the NESN Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon has raised $48 million since 2002. And the president of the Boston Red Sox, from the time he was just a little tyke, was walking around with a can, I swear, collecting for the Jimmy Fund. As far back as you go with the Red Sox, which is the day you were born.
Yeah, no question. Well, growing up a mile from Fenway Park and about a half a mile from the Dana-Farber, you are aware of the connection, the decades-long connection between the Red Sox and the Jimmy Fund, probably the most recognizable community partnership in all professional sports. And it's just been an honor and a privilege to be a part of this organization and keep that relationship going. And when John Henry and Tom Werner and Larry Lucchino took over, it was a natural, given their understanding of the relationship, but also the fact that Larry Lucchino, our CEO, was a 2-time cancer survivor and had been treated there. So there was a Red Sox connection and a personal connection. Of course, Larry's now their chairman, so we're proud to keep this great relationship going for another 6 decades.
Yeah, the Jimmy Fund has made a huge impact on my life, not only being able to help facilitate kids from the Jimmy Fund coming and visiting with me during my playing career, but knowing who Lisa Scherber is and being exposed to all the great work they do there. And I don't know if I've said this publicly, but it's because of the Jimmy Fund that my 12-year-old daughter has already made up her mind what she wants to do.
Wow.
We were watching America's Got Talent, and a story just like Tara Daniels came up on a backstory on one of the singers, And she looked at me, she goes, "Daddy, that's why I want to be a pediatric oncologist."
Oh, boy. Wow.
And it's because of the Jimmy Fund, and I can't thank them enough to influence my daughter's life going forward with her education.
How cool is that?
It was really cool from a father's standpoint. I couldn't stop from crying.
Now that all of us dads in the booth here have chills going down our back wake, thanks a lot.
Right.
That's awesome. And, you know, you hear a story like that, and you think about people like Lisa Scherber. She is just there's a place in heaven for her and all the great people at Dana-Farber. What they do with the patients. We're so lucky, as Wake said. We've all been here for a long, long time. They come to Fenway, and they get a little bit of a respite from the day-to-day treatment. And our players are so great, starting with our veterans and alums like Wake and Pedro and David, but just everyone in that clubhouse. They understand. They come to Boston. They understand that the Dana-Farber and the Jimmy Fund is in our DNA, and they're all so giving with their time and support, and we're really grateful for it. It's so important. Every single person that's watching this telecast has been impacted by this horrific disease in some form or fashion, and so it's really important that we keep working on this research.
Red Sox in. Dana-Farber really hand to glove, little roller to first base, and Moreland will handle that. One man gone. Hey, how is this spring training? Does this spring training feel different?
It does.
For you and for the organization?
Yeah, it really does. Wake and I were actually talking about it last night. It's just there seems to be a fun factor that maybe got away from us a little bit.
It's kind of a revived energy you see with the guys in the clubhouse and with Alex and his new coaching staff.
Definitely. And, you know, John Farrell is an incredible baseball man, an incredible part of our family, our tradition, our history. The guy won us a World Series, a couple divisions.
Right.
Our pitching coach in 07 when we won it. So he is. We're going to miss him. But, you know, you make a change like this, and Alex comes in with this contagious, enthusiastic energy, and you know he's playing ping pong with the guys. He's getting to know everybody. He's asking them about their kids. He's setting up dinners with members of the media to find out where they're from and what are they really trying to achieve. How can he help make their life easier? So there's a renewed energy. He's pumped. This is his first time as a manager. He's really excited, and he also wasn't playing just that long ago, right? Or he was playing just that long ago. It hasn't been that long since he retired. So he knows what these guys are going through day to day.
Absolutely, and being where he's from Puerto Rico, like I remember him answering the questions from the media about taking up this job and how important it is to be in a market like Boston. He's like, hey, listen, I'm from Puerto Rico. We eat, slept, and dreamt about baseball 24/7. So they were on a baseball field a lot.
Hicks with a high deep drive is going to keep carrying, and that is out of here. It'll be a solo home run, so the Yankees grab the lead here. 1-0. That was off of Joe Kelly after Brian Johnson went 2 strong innings, but the Yankees now take the lead.
Well, here we go with this renewed rivalry, right, OB? We've got Alex's first matchup against Booney down there, your old colleague.
Yes.
And it should be a lot of fun. Both guys are really excited to get going.
I'm loving this. I know TC and I talked about it on the pregame show that you're going to start to see the rivalry that I was a part of in the late 90s to the mid 2000s start to heat up again, because you got young guys that are part of an organization for a longer period of time that are starting to play against each other, and I'm just really excited to sit back and watch how this all unfolds.
19 times. That's in the regular season.
Yes.
We'll see what happens beyond that.
You know, it's interesting. John Henry, our principal owner, started his baseball career as a limited minority partner with the New York Yankees, and he said there's always so much respect for the tradition and the history of the Yankees. And while we have that, and the rivalry has been at such high levels, there's a respect and admiration, but there is a hatred throughout our organization.
Darn it, there ought to be.
And I think that's something that you really start to feel. You start to see the moves that Cashman made. You know, when he called us the Golden State Warriors of baseball last year, then Dave took a shot back at him, and we had the whole nonsense around the sign stealing and everything that went on. It just, you know, it fans the flames a little bit, and it starts to really get you upset. And so we want to beat these guys. We want to beat these guys badly this year, and it's going to be a lot of fun to have that type of tension and animosity in the air at Fenway and at Yankee Stadium.
Little animosity is not a bad thing when you're talking about a sports rivalry.
No. That was the most, people ask me what it was like, and I'm like, even the first series, whether it's in Boston in April, it's going to be a playoff atmosphere because of the rivalry. I mean, you can't get that anywhere else, in my opinion, around both leagues than Boston and New York.
Well, first regular season meeting will be April 10, 11, and 12 at Fenway Park. Sam, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks,
great to see you.
Great to be with
Sam.
you. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, Red Sox playing here on Foundation Day. Obviously a great day for us and a wonderful day here at JetBlue. Red Sox Foundation auctioning off today's game used jerseys. You can bid online right now at redsox.com/RSF auction. It's live right now. We'll be back with more from Red Sox Foundation Game Day on Nesson right after this. Aaron Hicks with a solo home run. The Yankees have the lead here early on 1-0. The Yankees will make a change on the mound. Chance Adams went the first couple of innings. This will be Justice Sheffield. Look at what he did in the minor leagues last year, 7-7 with an ERA of 3.12 and a left-hander. Sox will bring up Steve Selski, Chad De La Guerra, who's at third base today, and then Mookie Betts for the second time. Our thanks to Red Sox President Sam Kennedy for joining us here in the booth. You can tell how excited Sam is about the season to come. Red Sox ownership, John Henry and Tom Werner. A lot of smiles around here, especially after J.D. Martinez joined the ball club, and watching J.D. take a little BP today.
Pretty impressive, isn't it?
It's pretty darn God, he's huge.
He's big.
I knew he was a big guy, and then stand next to him and chat with him. He couldn't be a nicer dude, but he was mashing here. Out at first, Selski went away. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a great addition to this already stacked offense. And what it does, it takes a lot of pressure off these guys. I know they felt a lot of pressure last year of trying to hit home runs and trying to score a lot of runs. Even though they did win the division, I think the addition of J.D. Martinez, not only is he a valuable asset from his numbers, but it also takes a lot of pressure off Hanley Ramirez and Mookie Betts and Jackie Bradley to be able to settle in and do it collectively as a team.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't argue with what happened last year as far as the run production numbers. More than 100 runs fewer last year.
De La Guerra with a pop into the sun and right 2 down.
And of course, you would never expect a Red Sox lineup to finish last in the American League in home runs. So that's all going to change.
Well, that just goes to show you how important pitching and defense is to win a division, which they did. It's amazing when you say that and you talk about that number, how they scored 100 fewer runs than they did the year before and still won the division.
Yeah. That means they
pretty cool.
They probably held back at least 100 fewer runs too.
Well, they pitched their butts off, that's for sure.
I kind of like this. I mean, there's a chip on the shoulder of a lot of the pitchers back from last year, guys in the rotation, the bullpen guys. Because of that, it's like, wait a minute. There really weren't many subtractions in the pitching staff, and the pitching staff is what led the Red Sox to win the division.
Agreed.
So, you know, why in their opinion are the Red Sox not favored in some people's minds as they think they should be?
Chicks dig the long ball.
That too,
they added
but
a ton of power.
You know what? I'd rather them feel this way than have them favored. I always wanted to be the underdog. I always wanted to prove people wrong. And you know, going into the season is like it puts a chip on their shoulder too. It's like, all right, you don't think we can do it? Watch, we'll show you. I like that. I like that a lot.
You know, all the headlines were around what the Yankees did with Stanton and adding that, and the year that Judge had, and that's, you know, their powerful lineup. That's fine. They're a very one-dimensional team as well, and if they don't hit the ball out of the park, and we all know how power goes into a slump. You saw it, Wake, last year. This Red Sox staff pitched very well to guys like Judge and Stanton when they got the opportunity to. And if they continue to be able to pitch to those guys, pitch to their weaknesses, you know, they can have a lot of games where they throw up a bunch of goose eggs without hitting the ball out of the park.
Well, let's be honest. You want that power in your lineup. If you can have it, there's no question about it. Wake, the guy you played with, among others, throughout your long part of your career, Big Papi, how many times did he change a game? Didn't have to be in the ninth inning. It could be his second at bat where he hits that 3-run shot,
right,
and that's the difference in the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's one guy that you couldn't pitch around in that lineup too. You know what I mean? And now, like I said, it took a lot. David Ortiz in the lineup took a lot of pressure off everybody else in that lineup, and they kind of missed that last year. I'm not saying that's why they scored 100 fewer runs, but you know, when the media is talking about, oh, they're not hitting for power, or blah blah blah, I mean, that takes a toll on a player over the course of 6 months, especially when it starts being talked about after the first month of the season. But I want to go back to the pitching staff. You know, they just showed David Price in the dugout. You know, there's their top pitching guy that they didn't have for most of the year. He was hurt. He got hurt early in the season, and they pitched very, very well. Watching him throw today in the last couple of days, I'm really excited to have a healthy David Price get back into this rotation with, you know, Rick Porcello and you know, Drew Pomerantz and Stephen Wright and, you know, Eduardo Rodriguez. Those two guys get healthy. This is a deep starting rotation, and the bullpen is ridiculous. Those guys from the 6th inning on.
Yeah.
Wow,
thanks for
impressive.
coming.
Yeah.
Cave fighting the sun, a little bit of wind, but runs in to make the play and retire the side. A walk and 1 man left. Still 1-0. Red Sox Foundation game day on Nesson. As the second largest health center in Boston, the Dimick Center is considered a national model for comprehensive health and human services. We take a closer look.
My name is Barbara Walker. A few years back, I became homeless. My interpretation of a homeless person was someone that was out in the streets drinking or, you know, just didn't have a life. Well, their life became my life. And that's when I decided, you got to get up and show your children that there's better life than what you're doing right now. And there was a coworker who said, Barbara, I think that I have the perfect job for you. You need to go to this place, and it's called Dimick. When I came in, I knew this was the place for me, and now I'm the program director. The Dimick Center was founded as the New England Hospital for Women and Children in 1862. Dimick's mission is to heal and uplift individuals, families, and the community. For almost 15 years, the Red Sox Foundation's impact is felt across Dimick. I don't think that if I didn't go through those storms, that I would have ended up here. It's just been an honor to be here at the Dimick Center and to be a part of the Red Sox Foundation as well.
Well, the Dimick Center celebrating 156 years of service. Quite remarkable, and we're just delighted to have with us Dr. Maisha Jordan, the president and CEO of the Dimick Center. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. This is an amazing opportunity. Excited to be here.
Well, you get to hang with the great Tim Wakefield.
I know.
You have no idea how impressed I am with this woman. I call her Dr. MJ because her credentials are off the charts, but what she does for the community in Boston is amazing. It's amazing. The stories that I hear coming from the Dimick House is amazing. Amazing.
We just saw one of those there. Talk about your role at the Dimick Center.
Sure. So as president and CEO, my goal is to make sure that we are talking about who we are and what we do, and we serve over 18,000 people each year in our Health and Human Services organization, from early education to behavioral health to primary care. We run the full gamut of services. And for us, it's about the community, and what we're really proud of is the partnership with the Red Sox Foundation in reaching the community in all these specific areas.
Oh, little roller here for a base hit. So Gregorius will be on to begin the 4th inning. A very gentle ground ball. That went off for Brandon Workman now into the ball game. What's been the most impactful element of the partnership with Dimick and the Red Sox Foundation?
What I've loved is the level of service that the Red Sox Foundation has provided to us, having volunteers come in, and as an example of which, we just had a service day with the Red Sox Foundation where a group of staff came in led by Becca, and they revitalized one of our recovery homes for men. And that means a lot to the men. We have 22 men that live in that home that are on this road to recovery. They live with us up to a year. And to live in a place that feels like a healing environment is part of the what the Red Sox Foundation provided to us. So having that opportunity to work with a partner, a true partner who understands the needs of the community, is amazing and incredibly impactful.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a question about what we talked about last year. I asked about the opioid crisis that's going on in Massachusetts right now, and have you guys, you have an update on how that's going? Is it getting better? And what the Dimick Center has, what kind of impact has that made in this whole crisis?
Slowly but surely, the problem is getting better. We're seeing less people dying every day from this crisis. What I'm really proud of is the partnership with the Red Sox Foundation has allowed us to provide services to even more people. Currently, we see 3,000 individuals in our detox alone each year. We're moving towards 4,000 people a year because we revitalized and renovated our detox, and we're opening that next month.
Awesome.
And the support from the Red Sox Foundation in helping us to do that has been incredible. So to reach 1,000 people more each year and save that many more lives, get that many more people connected into care is an amazing opportunity for us. We wish it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very serious issue that we're
really
battling, not only in Massachusetts but throughout around the whole country. So I'm happy to hear that the Red Sox Foundation is actually increasing your capacity to treat more people.
Exactly, and for us that's critical. What we need to make sure is that we have access to everyone. We're providing access to care, and the detox may be the first entry into that, and then we can connect them into primary care, into mental health services, into education. We provide early ed as well as adult education, so we're running that full gamut, and partners like the Red Sox Foundation is an opportunity for us to expand that capacity.
And that healing process goes many steps beyond just the initial phase, what you're talking about.
Exactly. It begins in the detox and the acute detoxification, but after that we have to connect people to jobs, we have to reunify families, and we do all of that right on our 9-acre campus in the heart of Roxbury.
You're going to take advantage of your vast knowledge of this topic, because it has, I think, it's bedazzled everyone where this crisis started,
right,
and just took off like wildfire.
Right.
And how did that happen?
I mean, in large part because of prescription pain medications and the overprescribing and the inappropriate prescribing of it. Certainly there had been a problem with heroin before, but it's escalated beyond anyone's imagination with the number of prescription pills that are out there. So our job is to make sure that we're providing education, we're making sure that we're providing access to treatment, and also working on prevention with the families that we serve at the Dimick Center.
I know your enthusiasm, for working hand to glove with the Red Sox Foundation, and this is unique, I think, among major league teams, but it seems like it's a template for so many other franchises.
It's a model, quite frankly. It's a model for how teams and the interest in giving back to the community can be paired with organizations that are on the front lines in doing this work, and I think it's an amazing recognition of the need for support in the community, and the Red Sox Foundation provides that.
Going back to this crisis, do you guys offer an opportunity for people to get rid of prescription medicines at the Dimick Center at all? Or I know, there's ways to do that. I know in my own household we can take it to the doctor, or there's ways to dispose of it. But if there's a place that we could tell people that if you have extra pain medicines that you don't want to get in the wrong hands, that they can drop it off at the Dimick Center if wanted to.
Right. You raised such an important point that we all need to be vigilant in our own homes about what's in the cabinet and what the kids in our homes have access to. And we can take those medications. We have a pharmacy right on site that allows us to be able to do that. So I think it's really important to think about who in the community can help partner with all families as we're trying to address prevention around this topic.
Espinosa on as he pushes a bunt past the mound. So for the rest of the time, is it okay for everyone else to refer to you as Dr. MJ as well? Because Wade can do it. But I know he's in a special club.
I grant you special.
Thank you.
She's the MJ of her world. I mean, Michael Jordan in the NBA was amazing, and I look up to this woman. Just if you just read her bio and what she, not only that, but what she does. We've just touched on a small part of what the Dimick Center is all about, and it's an amazing place. If you've never been there, go visit. I got a chance to visit it one time, and I was blown away by the impact they have on the lives of people in the Massachusetts, Roxbury area. Not only there, but all over Massachusetts and beyond.
We see over 200 zip codes at the Dimick Center, so we're really our reach is broad across Massachusetts, and it's health and human services, it's early education, it's homelessness, it's drug addiction, it's behavioral health and primary care, all being taken care of on a 9-acre campus with 9 buildings right in the heart of Roxbury.
That's amazing.
And for you, it's a lot more than just what you do, isn't it?
It's a privilege. It's a privilege to be there, and it's about the community and understanding the needs of the community and then creating programs that can address those needs. And we can't do that kind of work without partners like the Red Sox Foundation.
Dr. MJ, great to have you with us. It really is an honor. Keep up the marvelous work.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here today.
Good to see you.
Thank you so
much.
much.
Again. Thank you.
Well, the Red Sox Foundation is auctioning off today's game-used jerseys featuring the Foundation patch. You can bid online for your favorite player's jersey right now at redsox.com/RSF auction. And we'll be back with more from Red Sox Foundation Game Day on NESN right after this. For popcorn. 75 degrees here. Weather is gorgeous, and as we said as we came on the air, first things first, our hearts and our prayers are with all of you who have been affected by the nor'easter that has struck full force New England and on the East Coast and done considerable damage. I know a lot of you are dealing with that right now, and flooding, and so many without power, and we're thinking about you today. Here in Fort Myers, Red Sox down a run. Tim Wakefield alongside Steve Lyons, Garen Austin with us as well. TC was here in the pregame. As we celebrate the Red Sox Foundation, we do this every spring. for one ball game and to shed light on the foundation, really spotlight it and all the wonderful things the Red Sox Foundation is doing and will do. And some extraordinary people like Dr. MJ. We're reading her bio in between innings. It's like, are you kidding me?
I know.
Brown,
Yeah,
you know, Johns Hopkins, and you talk about MBAs, and it's amazing.
It's amazing what she's accomplished educationally, but again, I can't say enough about what, I mean, like I said, we just touched on what she does at Dimick Center. I mean, it's a 9-acre campus that encompasses everything, and family services to like homelessness to, you know, opioid crisis that's going on. It's amazing what they do for the community.
Let's get on to Garen Austin.
Thanks, OB. Well, guys, when I first found out about the home base program, it was something that really touched my heart. My dad is career military, and he's currently at the Pentagon. And the work that they are doing at the home base program is incredible, helping our veterans heal the invisible wounds of war. And it's really unique. And I know firsthand the challenges that military families face. So for me, it's an incredible way by participating to give back to other military families. And guys, I'm excited to be doing the run again this year along with TC.
Who's going to win that one? Do you guys look at a little wager?
You know,
going
I think TC's going to win. He beats me every year. But you know, I always win the fundraising though, and that's what I'm most concerned about.
You do. You blow them away there. So keep that up. So great to have you participating in that, both of you guys. Mitch Moreland, 0 for 1 today. He's grounded out to first base. And Xander Bogaerts will follow.
There's a fun walk part of the run to home base. You and I could do, Steve.
Yeah, that's you and I.
We could do the fun walk.
That would be great.
So we don't kill ourselves. Yes.
Over shift on for Moreland. Hanley's the DH today with Moreland at first.
You look at the game, isn't it funny, guys, that the Yankees will shift on Moreland, and Moreland is known to be one of the guys on this team that goes the other way as well as anybody.
Yeah.
So what's the point of the shift?
Well, I think it's just on the infield. If you look at the outfield, they're shifted to the other way.
Straight up, the other way.
Romine will set him down on the swinging bunt. 2 up and 2 down. We've already seen Joe Kelly in the game. But we need to mention a couple of days ago that Joe Kelly put on a wig and a beard and got dressed as reporter Jim Buchanan, who's an actual guy, by the way, an actual reporter from Punta Gorda, TV station there. And he got dressed up and he went out into the field while the Sox were doing some drills. And it was as awkward gets, totally on purpose. You know, this character that Joe Kelly got into, and he would be giving fielding tips to Bogaerts and Pedroia while he was out there, and he'd be rifling through their stuff in the clubhouse, and everyone's looking at him like,
get this guy out of here.
Who is this guy?
Right.
And it was Joe Kelly. So, you know, be on the lookout for his next character that he's going to create.
I have to admit, he got me because
he did get you.
He walked around the corner, and I'm like, I was in the bullpen watching some guys throw, and I was like, who the heck is that? That can't be for real. And he turned and looked at me, and I go, I guess it is for real. And I had no idea it was Joe Kelly.
Guys, Joe told me that he actually was in makeup for 3 hours to be able to do that.
I believe
impressive.
That's impressive. That's so awesome.
I believe it. But I think this is, you know, he's like the Andy Kaufman of baseball players. I think he's going to dip into a different character every once in a while. And so be on the lookout for that because he pulls it off. But he's a goofball.
Of course, you got to have that kind of personality to pull that stuff off.
Should have been left-handed.
Yeah, right.
Players are looking at him like, am I
he got his own. He got his own teammates.
Yeah,
That's
nobody knew who
nobody
he
knew
was.
who
The
he
makeup
was.
was awesome. He had the bad hair, and you know, and he was just doing stuff that is completely illegal to do with a media pass. He's running across the field while they're taking batting practice and stuff. People were looking at him like, can someone? There was a security guy chasing him, and he just kept running.
You know, he's dipping into guys' lockers and picking out uniform pieces. Like, you know, is anyone going to stop this guy?
He's got to be careful next time because his own players will be onto him.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to see his next character.
He'll come up with something.
Got a great sense of humor. But I mean, he said of course, he was allowed onto the field, so he's standing right behind like Pedroia and Bogaerts and say, you know, you got to move to your right a little bit now, and you've got to get that knee down, and whatever he was saying out there. It was funny stuff. Deep drive into right center. That one tagged. Hicks backing up, and that one's going to be off the wall. Xander Bogaerts trotting into second base, narrowly missing a home run. Driving a 3-2 pitch, and he's aboard and is 2 for 2 today.
That's what you want to see a little bit more about Xander Bogaerts this year. Look at him how he does not bend over. Remember how last season he spent a lot of time bending over at the top half and kind of just serving the ball to right field. They're really working with him this year to stay a little bit more upright, and look at the power the other way on that ball right there. He hammered it.
So we'll be staying live and showing you the replay in our double box.
You know, back to Joe Kelly. I mean, this is the same guy that told the media, you know, the media of the St. Louis Cardinals, that he was a distant relative of Machine Gun Kelly, and then proceeded to answer questions about it when people would ask him about it.
Which is totally untrue.
Not true at all.
There's no connection at all.
He lied to his own PR staff in St. Louis.
On purpose.
Yes.
So people would start asking him about
so
it.
Seriously, you're a distant. What is the family relation?
Oh, yeah,
there?
dark family
He's
secret.
Answering questions.
Oh, my goodness.
And Brock Holt with a man at second. Red Sox trying to tie it here against the Yankees.
You've got to have at least one guy on the team that will display that type of personality, just to keep things loose all the time, especially when things are going a little south. Keep the team loose, keep them laughing, keep them wanting to show up at the ballpark every day.
I think the creativity is great. You know, it goes several steps beyond. Joe, yes, it is.
There it is.
Now, this is frightening enough, but the fact that he was allowed access to any place on the field
he's got his credential right there, ready to go.
Right.
Probably wasn't hot in that plaid shirt in the 85-degree weather
with all
either.
that makeup on?
Jim
my
Buchanan.
Goodness. Jimmy Buchanan. I love it.
Out of Punta Gorda.
JB on Sports at 11.
It looked a little more like Howard Hughes to me.
It was Scotland. Yeah, I was looking for fingernails.
Brock 0 for 1. Sandy Leon looking for another at bat. He's on deck.
Great to have Brock Holt back and healthy.
Yeah, right.
Man.
And I went through a lot last year battling vertigo and trying to solve that riddle, and it can really be a serious riddle.
Yeah, it shows you how serious concussions are, and he did not get hit in the head with anything. It was on a dive on a play that jarred his neck.
Yeah, in Toronto.
In Toronto, yeah, it's crazy how that happens.
3-2 from Sheffield. Twisting pop-up. Cave on the move to the Red Sox dugout.
I can tell you about 2.5 months ago, I got diagnosed with vertigo, but I'm sure it's a very mild case. I did have one day where I literally couldn't get out of bed without the entire room spinning. And he went through that type of a thing for months and months. And you remember Nick Gasaski, who played for the Red Sox and then signed like a 4-year contract with the Atlanta Braves. Spring training, he got vertigo and never played again.
Right.
He had a 4-year contract and could never come back and play.
I remember he said,
how serious it can be.
97-mile-an-hour fastballs. He was seeing 2 of them. One of them's dangerous enough. You don't know where it's going.
Right.
You know.
On a line. That lead up to second baseman. Torres will have no play except to the plate, and the throw is offline. Run scores. Brock Holt trying to move up, and he'll get in there. And the Red Sox have tied it at 1.
Well, pretty good indication right there about what type of aggression the Red Sox are going to play with on the base pass. They moved up every opportunity they could. They forced the Yankees to make a play, Wake, and they really couldn't complete any play.
Yeah, that's what I love about the Red Sox, even last year. And people always talk about how many outs that were made on the base pass last year. But, you know, it takes a perfect throw in a situation like that. You know, Bogaerts was going on contact, and guy misplayed it. He's able to score, and Brock Holt rounding first. The throw gets away from the catcher, and he's able to take a second base to put him in scoring position. That's good heads-up base running by the Red Sox.
And Brock Holt will be credited with a base hit.
Every reaction was the right one, and it was quick.
Here's Sandy Leon. Red Sox can grab the lead for the first time today. He's 0 for 1, having tapped to second. And when you look at the Red Sox lineup, what's projected as the everyday lineup, you fully expect some of the key guys to ramp it up to the level they're capable of. No one's asking them to do beyond what they're capable of, but for Mookie Betts, for Jackie Bradley, for Xander Bogaerts, just to play at the level they're capable of playing, that's going to be a level up maybe from most of last year. I think they would all agree with that.
Yeah, again, I go back to the J.D. Martinez signing. I think him being in the lineup really takes a lot of pressure off of guys trying to do more than they're capable of. And when you try harder, it's hard to say that as an athlete.
Worse.
You get worse. It's funny how that works. You know, when from a pitcher standpoint, when things started to go awry for me, the hardest thing was not to try harder.
Yeah, back off a little bit.
And you really have to back off. And I think that shows what happened last year. There was so much pressure on them to do well and to score a lot of runs and to be a home run hitting ball club, and they weren't doing it. And so you get into that trap of trying to do more than you're capable of doing, and you have an offensive year. But I truly believe that these guys are going to make a change, and I think the addition of J.D. Martinez in this lineup will help tremendously take the pressure off of this lineup.
A little glimpse there of the fun the Red Sox have been having. It's a loose camp. I think everybody sees that as a real positive under Alex Cora. Alex only 42 years old.
I knew he would be a good manager one day just by playing with him and being a utility player under Tito in 2007. Just listening to him, sitting on the bench, listening to him, how he watched the game and how he picked up on little tendencies from other players, whether it be a starting pitcher or watching how the defense was set up and how he approached the offensive side of his game during that moment.
Sandy Leon will take a walk, first and second here. A little give and take with Hanley Ramirez. I think it's going to be a big focus for Alex Cora to keep Hanley in that mindset this year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just coming. The manager. That's probably the toughest job in baseball, is being a manager, is dealing with 25 different personalities. It's hard. It's not easy. Not only do you have to run a ball club and run the game and manage the game, but you have to deal with 25, maybe 30 different personalities and try to get the most out of each one.
Yeah, that's why you don't have a head coach in baseball, right? You have a manager.
Correct.
Head coach in the other sports, but truly a manager.
That really is what the definition of managing is, and probably one of the hardest jobs that they have, because, when you have a guy, and that's where what we've seen, the trend this year with a guy like Aaron Boone, who well and who we all know is a really smart guy, but has had no coaching experience, no managing experience anywhere. It's hard enough in this game to take care of yourself, one person. Now when you're asked to take care of 25, that's a big adjustment period that you have to go through, and that's a big learning experience, and he's going to have to jump on that curve very quickly.
When I worked with him at ESPN, he was the smartest baseball guy going. There wasn't a player at the big league level he was not familiar with. And this is true of Alex Cora too. You talk to these guys when they're broadcasters, and you're like, how do you know that? How do you know this guy was a 4th round draft pick 4 years ago in the Arizona organization? But they're both so deeply in it. In both of their cases, you figure they could do it.
It's part of their lives. You think about Alex's, pedigree of playing baseball his whole life. They have academies in Puerto Rico that they go to school to play baseball. That's how important the sport is. And on the other side, you have Aaron Boone, who came from a baseball family.
Sure.
It was ingrained in his system from a young age. So I don't doubt that those two guys know everything there is to know about every player that's on the field right now, and the ones in the minor league as well.
Busted bad grounder to Didi Gregorius. Red Sox do get a run and a couple of hits, and have tied the game at 1. Red Sox Foundation Game Day on NESN. Home Base is a Red Sox Foundation and Massachusetts General Hospital program focusing on healing the invisible wounds of war. Let's take a closer look.
It was October 10th, 2005.
Been in country for about 3 months, and we were doing a reconnaissance mission. We stopped 2 possible suicide bombers at that time. The whole thing was a setup. I got sniped and got the side of my chest blown out. I was never scared when I thought I was going to die on the operating table. Don't get me wrong, yeah, I was happy to be alive, but the scariest moment of my entire deployment was coming home. I was waking up in cold sweats. I was having reoccurring dreams. I knew I wasn't comfortable in crowds. I knew that I didn't like crowded places. I couldn't watch war movies. The guilt of having such a great life and others not having that opportunity, that it really just became so tough and so painful. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to get through it by myself. Home base was amazing. I'm talking to another combat veteran, a guy that actually has been there, you know, when there's not a whole lot of people that can relate. To know that I can talk to another guy that's been there and done that, and he's telling me, no, this is all right, I'm going to help you through the process, was entirely more comforting. After going through the home base program, I can't believe how far I've come, and it's like, looking back prior to it, it's like it was a completely different person. I can't thank everyone at home base enough. It was really a life-changing experience.
And that brave young man is with us. Kurt Power will be chatting with him here. Run to home base created in 2009 by Tom Werner. $19.6 million has been raised since then. It's been a great success, and the run to home base coming up on Saturday, July 28th. Kurt, thanks so much for being with us, and we can't thank you enough for your service and for everything you've been through. Purple Heart recipient and your service in Iraq. But tell us about what this organization means to you, what the Run to Home Base means to you.
Well, first off, I just want to say, guys, it's such an honor to be here. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
And you're the best.
Thank you. It's just, you know what I said, it means so much to me. Not only as a combat veteran, not only as a fan of the Sox, but as a graduate of the program itself. I said the home base program is changing and saving the lives of our veterans on a daily basis, and every day of my life is better as a result.
Well, I know, I can see the look in your eyes, and this comes from the bottom of your heart, but having gone through everything you've gone through, do you feel fortunate that this program can do what it does at the level it does it at?
It does, because, I mean, I said I had physically survived the war, but not mentally, in terms of it was so hard to appreciate life actually being good after the war, because I said better men than me didn't make it home, and the survivor guilt at times was so overwhelming.
It's hearing stories like this is amazing to hear how the home base program can, what he just said, it's hard to talk about, because it's very emotional, not only for this young man, but for us to talk about as well, because we know what they sacrificed to do for us to have our freedom here, and yet when they come home, they're dealing with a lot worse things than we ever thought about what to suffer. And this program really has been amazing to not only to be a part of, to watch what it does for guys like you. And I can't thank you enough, and I'm glad that you were able to get the help that you needed through this program. And what can you tell other veterans out there right now that might be listening? Why should they go to the home base program?
Well, Tim, it's a game changer, right? And I think the most important thing, guys, is having the conversation, right? Mm-hmm. That you know, war is war, and we get that, right? And we trained for it, but it's so hard to know what to do after the war, right? And I said, so we all have to open the dialogue and really talk about it. I said, like, the nightmares, the cold sweats, survivor guilt, like, that's all normal. That's all a normal part of the process, and it's okay.
It's okay to be vulnerable like that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? Nobody wants to talk about this, but we all have an obligation to do so, because that's the only way we're going to save veterans' lives in the process. And you know, once again, like, the home base program is saving lives on a daily basis by really reinforcing that.
How important was the camaraderie that you felt when you got to home base? Because I know being part of a team when you're over in Afghanistan or Iraq, like I was a part of a team here, and then when I retire, I'm not part of a team anymore. How important was that when you got to home base to realize there was other people like you going through the same things that you were going through?
I think not only is that so powerful, you know, because we're never going to be more trusting than we are of our other veterans, right? So knowing that other guys are going through it is huge. But I said, which is also huge, is I said the fact that the home base program is led by General Jack Hammond.
Yeah.
I said there's not a veteran out there that wouldn't follow Jack into battle, okay? I said he's one of the greatest leaders I've ever met. I said, so, you know, let Jack lead you home. Let him help you become the person you once were. And I know he did it for me, and, you know, once again, it changed my life. And I couldn't be any more appreciative of General Jack Hammond in the home base program. It's a whole new world.
He's a special person, that's for sure.
He's
not much of a golfer, but he's a pretty good guy.
Zing! Yeah. There we go. Yeah. On the golfing front.
But you know, I love his vision now. Not only has it been a huge success in Massachusetts through the Mass General Hospital, but I think it's a program that needs to go nationwide. And I know he's pushing to get that. There's so many other veterans, other than the ones that are from New England, that are huge Boston Red Sox fans, and the one down here in Southwest Florida too. We started a program here, the Warrior Fitness program, that's really been a huge success. But I'd like to see this evolve into something that every state has.
Yeah, I agree 100%, Tim. You know what I say? Like, we're just seeing the very beginning of it, and this is the absolute tip of the spear with the Red Sox Foundation and the home base program. And you know, the more people we can help, the better. And we have to spread the word. And if people want to turn around and support veterans, you know, come out and support the cause. Come out to the run. It's going to be the most powerful day of your year. Yeah. It's life-changing. There isn't a dry eye in the house.
And I will say this. I didn't mean to say that other veterans from other states or other parts of the country can't get help. They can come to Boston and get the help, because we're not limiting it to people from New England. It's a program for everybody in the country that if they want to come, then we'll put you through the program and get you back on your feet again.
I got to tell you, Kurt, you gave me chills when you said tip of the spear, because it's exactly what you were. And, you know, my own boy who just got back from Afghanistan, he used to use the same phrase as well. That's what we are. We're the tip of the spear, and it's so. I mean, it's amazing what you did, what you gave up for your country, but that you can return and get back to your life and have help doing it, which is so necessary and was missing for a long time with our veterans.
Yes, sir. Well, first off, tell your son, please, thank you for his service, right? But, yeah, that's what it's all about, is the healing process after the fact, and coming back to the person you were before the war, and helping as many people do it as possible. That's it. We're all in it together, all of us here, you know.
Absolutely. No question.
And, you know, there's no greater partner out there than the Red Sox and the Red Sox Foundation.
And this goes back a long way, right?
Yes.
You know, you're Red Sox from the time you're a little one.
Yes, sir. I said, listen, I'll be a Sox fan till the day I die. So it makes it that much more special. And I said, from the top all the way down to Mr. Warner to Mr. Kennedy, they're all true believers. You know, they are guys that believe in the cause and do so much more work than either one of them ever advertise. It's unbelievable.
Well, the run to home base Saturday, July 28th. Put it on your calendar. And as mentioned, it's been an incredible success and just continues to grow and grow. And it grows because of awareness, and awareness because of guys like you who are talking about how successful the program has been for you.
Well, thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. Really an honor to be here.
Honor to have you.
It's all about the dialogue, like Kurt said before. It's being vulnerable for veterans out there that are maybe suffering from PTSD and are hearing us talk about it. It's okay to talk about it. Here's a guy that had a hard time doing it before, and now look where he is now. I urge you to pick up the phone and call the home base program and seek the help that you not only need, but you deserve it. Every veteran out there that may be going through what you're going through deserves the help that the home base program can provide for them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How cool is it to get to know Tim Wakefield?
Oh my God, I'm starstruck over here. I'm not going to lie. I said I still remember, you know, sitting behind home plate, watching Tim pitch back in the day.
Don't tell me you were 6 back then.
No. Hey.
It made me feel old.
8.5.
Yeah. And looking and being like, you know what? There's nobody that's going to hit that pitch, man.
Didn't you? I mean, you did the same thing I did. You're like, here it comes, you know, and it's strike 3, and you're like, nobody. I don't care if you're the greatest hitter. Ted Williams is not going to put a bat on that thing.
Listen. There's no pitcher in Red Sox history that ever made more batters look foolish than Tim Wakefield. And you know what? We loved every second of it.
Yep, absolutely.
Especially when it's a Yankee.
Ball 4 here to Cave, and Red Sox in a 1-1 tie as we chat with Sergeant Kurt Power. with us here inside the booth, and just delighted to have you. And I know that you know, just being able to come and hang out in spring training for you has got to be the coolest thing.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's absolutely beautiful down here, and couldn't have a better day for a game, right?
Isn't that the truth?
I tell everyone, and back home, I said every game I go to at Fenway, I still get the chills. It's a magical place. You know, if you haven't experienced a game at Fenway Park, then you haven't seen baseball.
I feel the same way, and I played there for 17 years, and every time I drive up to the park or I have to do a broadcast, I still get that special feeling when I walk into to me, it's a church. It's a cathedral.
It really is.
It's one of the biggest cathedrals in the country, and to walk out, go through that little tunnel and see the Green Monster for the first time back in '95 when I first joined the team was awe-inspiring. It was amazing to walk in the same park that Babe Ruth once pitched in and hit in, and like all the great Red Sox of yesteryear.
Well, I came down through the tunnel to go into the dugout and take the field, and Carl Yastrzemski's sitting there.
Yeah.
Talking with Jerry Remy. And I'm like, I can go up and shake his hand and say, Yaz, how are you? And I'm like, I shouldn't be allowed to do that. I shouldn't be here. That's Carl Yastrzemski.
He's an immortal, right?
Yeah. I mean, yes, you know, forget it. I shouldn't, you know, someone should be ushering me out. Right, kid, you're 9 years old. You've lost your way. You know, but it's remarkable because that tradition at the ballpark and guys in those uniforms like Tim Wakefield, the things that they've done, you're reminded how lucky you are to live in New England and to be a Red Sox fan every day.
But the things that these guys did for us, that's what's amazing. And when you walk down a hallway and see a picture of this guy and what he sacrificed for us and generations before him. And my grandfather was in the Air Force in World War II. That generation, the Vietnam generation, I mean, those guys. And I know the home base program had just recently started doing, last year I think was the first year, I don't know if the general's still here or not, but they had the Vietnam Memorial Wall that was on display at Fenway Park, which is amazing. Awesome. And you talk to some of those Vietnam veterans that they're very thankful for, like, thank you for remembering us. The guys that served back in that era. It's really amazing.
So powerful. It's so powerful to see the opening ceremony that they had last year, right?
Yep.
And I said I've talked to so many Vietnam veterans that are in tears by how appreciative they are for you know, the support of the Red Sox and having it out in the field and giving them really the welcome home that these guys deserved.
They deserved, and they didn't
get. That gentleman is a Vietnam vet who's operating our camera right there, and you know, the life that we are allowed to live, we owe to you guys, men and women who have served. This one will get through Sandy Leon. Throw down to third base, off into left. No advance beyond there, so the Yankees have a runner at third base.
So I say, you know what, the greatest honor of my life was the ability to serve this country, you know, and I'm so proud to do so, and I'm so proud to see so many guys out there still serving, you know, the younger generations, and they really believe in it, and it's just, I feel like it's such a change for the good to see guys out there that are true believers that, you know, really just want to make a difference in this world with, you know, how crazy things are at times.
Thank goodness you're there and have been there, and I can't thank you enough for the courage and the honor you show and the bravery, because the rest of us are back home living our lives, but you're never far from our thoughts, I can tell you that.
I really appreciate that, sir. But like, you know, like I always tell everyone, right, like, it's an honor to serve, but once again, like, the real heroes are the guys that never made it home.
Yes.
And that's the reality of it, and all of us, I feel, owe it to them to really, you know, do what we can for the greater good and to help the other guys that are still struggling.
Now, ball four here, that'll put runners on the corners for the Yankees as they try and retake the lead. We're tied up 1-1. Kurt Power joining us, retired sergeant, United States Army, and a Purple Heart recipient for his action in Iraq, and a former patient at home base as well. Take a look at that last offering. And saw Sandy trying to hold it.
Just a little bit outside. He's fallen behind in the count a couple of times, and it's probably just a mechanical issue that Daniel Levante's gone out there to try to point to him, to try to stay within himself and throw quality strikes.
So, Kurt, how many games are you going to be headed to Fenway this summer? Will you get to a few?
I will. I'm not going to lie. Home base is great to me. CEO Kennedy has been great about reaching out and really getting me some games, and it's great to see it. I'm really excited for the season. I think that it's really going to be a big year.
You like the Martinez signing?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I like that. I like the new manager. I think that's really a big deal, and I think we're headed for success this season, to say the least.
I can't agree with you more. I'm excited. I just can't talk about it too much. I'm afraid I'm going to jinx it.
See, I guarantee you, Wake was probably with as many superstitions as anybody alive, right? Were you a big superstition guy?
I don't believe in superstitions. I think they're bad luck.
Yeah.
That's what I used to tell people.
And yet, you talk about jinxes.
Superstition, yeah. I think the only superstition I had is I didn't want to step on the white line. And I don't know why that was.
Yeah.
I don't know if I saw somebody do it and said, hey, that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll start doing that. But that's the only superstition that I really had.
That's a lot less than I would have thought from you, to be honest. Because most guys who played for a long time have, a lot of them. They've stored up over the years.
Yeah, I didn't have anything I had to put my left sock on before my right. I think that's not superstitious. That's OCD.
It is.
Yeah. But a lot of athletes have superstitions. They try to wear the same hat because if they're successful doing a certain thing in a certain way, they want to maintain that. So I think that's where the superstitions come from.
Who had one of the zanier ones that you can recall in the Sox clubhouse over the years? You're like, hey, that's, you may want to see somebody about that.
I mean, I'm not hounding on the guy. He was a great teammate of mine, but Nomar was one of the worst of having to do certain things. And I think that was more, you worked with Nomar, right?
Oh,
in the booth a couple of times. He's an awesome guy. Baseball to him was, you didn't rock that boat. Like, you didn't want to cross that path with him as far as sitting in the wrong seat because he had to put his glove there or his jacket. There were certain idiosyncrasies that he had that you didn't want to get in the way with.
And you're being kind with idiosyncrasies. Yeah, I mean, baseball downright spiritual for him.
Very spiritual for him. Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, like I think every athlete has some type of superstition.
Tap to short, and so Barnes will get out of the inning. And that will do it. Kurt, I can't tell you how proud we are of you, and thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you guys so much.
Honored to have you with us.
Thank you so much.
Bless you. Thank you so much.
Go Red Sox.
Yes.
Red Sox Foundation auctioning off today's game-used jerseys. You can bid online for your favorite player's jersey at redsox.com/RSF auction. It's live right now. We'll be back with more from Red Sox Foundation. Game day on NESN right after this. First pitch today, Biogen with a check for $65,000 for the Red Sox Foundation. Pekka Salwasser also on the field for the check presentation, along with the Biogen representatives here under the beautiful sunny skies, alongside Mike Egan, who is there. Brady Lale coming on to pitch now against Blake Swihart. And a roller to second base. And De La Guerra there, and he is out at first. One man gone. Mookie Betts will get another at bat. Blake Swihart having a very good spring to this point. He's been a major story, I think, with the way he has swung it and the opportunity to maybe make this ball club. A couple of changes here for the Yankees. We mentioned Lale now the pitcher. They also have a new center fielder. Mookie is 0 for 1. He is lined to center and taking ball 4. And Jackie Bradley on deck. Yankees will go to Sarasota tomorrow at 1 o'clock to take on the Orioles. That game will be on Nesson. Shane Robinson is their new center fielder.
Loki off to a relatively slow start in spring, but I don't think anybody's too worried about that.
Yeah, we were raving about the fact that he never makes a mistake on the bases. He's just about perfect. And of course, within 5 seconds, he got picked off. So naturally.
It's your fault.
Got to be.
Jinxed him.
Big time jinx.
Now, wait a minute. I'm listening to conversation about superstitions.
Oh, come on.
And Wake says, I'm not superstitious because I think it's bad luck.
That was a joke. That was nobody got it, so I had to keep going.
I got it. I thought it was a pretty good line, but I'm like.
Gregorius with a bobble. And Mookie Betts is aboard for the second time today.
You know, Wake, as my career progressed, I got tired of the superstitions.
Yeah.
Wasn't a very good player anyway, so they weren't working very well for me. And I just got tired of the whole, if I had some decent batting gloves and I was hot at the time, I'd try to use them. You know, as soon as I didn't have a good day with them, I'd toss them, I guess. But, like you said, putting your left sock on first, oh, God, after a while, you're putting that uniform on 5 times a day. It gets old after a while.
Jackie Bradley with a walk, a stolen base, also fly to left today.
Too much energy wasted. You concentrate hard enough during a baseball game yet. You're concentrating on everything you have to do before you get dressed.
Go out and play really well. That's a good superstition to have.
One down and one aboard, and flirting with a stolen base, Mookie Betts, but back to first. How many will he steal this year? Could it be a 30-30 season for number 50?
That would be good to see, wouldn't it?
Wind is gusting out toward right. And popped to the left side, shallow left field as Cave comes in, Gregorius out. He'll take it. And 2 down. And that'll bring up Hanley Ramirez. Red Sox have sold out each of their last 111 home Grapefruit League games, including every game played here at JetBlue since it opened in 2012. Today, no exception.
Pretty cool place here.
Hanley with a fly to right and a strikeout, so looking for that first knock of the day. One of the more interesting debates is going to be, as we near the season opener, What will the heart of that lineup look like? Who's going to hit third? Who's going to hit fourth? I asked Hanley around the cage today if he cared. He said no. Doesn't matter to him.
Hanley just had an offering of what he thought the differences between the two hitters are. He said your third hitter is a better hitter. He's a more complete hitter. And your fourth hitter is a guy that's supposed to go up there and hit the ball out of the park.
I like the analogy. I think that Alex said that J.D. Martinez would probably bat third because in the first inning he may have an opportunity to drive in a run versus leading off the second.
Right.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a discussion about that the other day about the percentages. I guess if you hit fourth, you do have about 9% more opportunities to drive in a run than if you hit third, because there's a good chance also that if you hit third, you're going to come up with 2 outs and nobody on.
Correct.
And you're definitely going to get up. But I want that guy up first inning.
And golfing that fly to center. That sun is tough today. Here comes the left fielder to dive ahead. And Cave makes the catch, but with some drama attached as it nearly fell in. It's Red Sox Foundation Game Day on NESN. Reviving Baseball in Inner Cities, or RBI, is a program dedicated to introducing urban youth in Boston to baseball and softball. Let's take a closer look.
My name is Tatiana Bercy. I'm 15 years old and I live in Hyde Park. I play for the Blue Jays from the Roxbury Boys and Girls Club. I started playing when I was around 8 or 9. They were able to teach me the basic mechanics that helped me to move on with softball and pitching, which I love doing now. I'm really appreciative that I got to know RBI because it really did change me.
Good inning, we got to get some runs here. Come on, let's go.
Hit the run on 3. Hit the run on 3. 1, 2, 3, hit the run! I've worked with many coaches throughout my seasons, and they've really pushed me to do better. They helped me grow as a person, too, not as a sophomore. Watch your side. Since I've been in the RBI League, I've grown to know many people that I have great friendships with now. We learn together, we experience many situations together, and we're there for one another, whether it's on the field or off the field.
RBI stands for Reviving Baseball in Inner Cities. The rookie leagues annually serve 900+ youth ages 5 to 12, currently serving over 700 youth ages 9 to 18. And Tatiana Bercy is with us from the Roxbury RBI team. We saw you winding up there and delivering the pitch, and Wake and I looked at each other like, we want no part of you.
No.
Forget it. We're not getting in with that. You look like you can absolutely bring it. Thanks for joining us.
I'm glad to be here.
How has it gone for you with the RBI program, your team Roxbury, and how is the whole experience so far?
The whole experience is very great. Like, my team has personally won 3 championships in a row.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. And I just love playing RBI because it's great to know, it's a great feeling to know that you're surrounded by girls who have the same goals as you, and you can help each other achieve them.
What was it like to have the opportunity to participate in MLB and USA Softball's elite program? And was RBI a reason why you got a chance to do that?
Yes, RBI was the reason why I got a chance to do that. It was a wonderful experience. I actually went down there to represent Boston through my talent, and a lot of girls across the country came there too. And it was a wonderful feeling to be taught by some of the best softball alumni. And at one point during the camp, we split up into teams, and each team had 2 to 3 coaches there, and at least each team had at least one Olympic softball gold medalist as a coach.
Wow. A gold medalist?
Wow.
Oh, isn't that awesome? Did they bring the medals? What I wanted.
They did bring the medals.
Oh, awesome.
Did you get to play with them or just for them? Did they get on the field and play with you guys?
No.
No.
They just taught us, showed us a few things they have picked up along there.
That's pretty cool.
Now tell us about this sharp jersey you're wearing here. What is this all about?
Well, this is one of 2 new jerseys that were made, and we may be wearing this jersey in the upcoming season, but the foundation hasn't decided yet.
Do you like that one or the other one?
I do like this one a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, we're watching you pitch, and have you been clocked now? How fast is that? I mean, that looks like it's for real.
Yeah, my fastest I've reached is 57, but on average I'm about like 52 to 55 miles per hour.
You have a breaking ball too? Do you have like a little bit of a change up?
Yes, I do, and I throw a curve and a drop.
You do throw a drop.
How about can you throw a knuckleball underhand like that?
No.
If you want a tip on that,
I can teach you.
There's somebody here who is pretty darn good at it. So just, if you ever want to get there.
I've tried to throw it underhand. I don't know if I could actually do that. There's a lot of torque when it comes to that, and it's amazing. I've tried to throw like that with a baseball. I can't do it. It's amazing the talent that it takes to be able to throw a softball underhand as fast as those girls do it.
It really is. And yeah, with that velocity and where you want to put it when you're throwing strikes. It takes a lot of work.
What would you tell your friends that aren't playing yet? What has the RBI program meant to you, and why isn't there more girls like yourself playing softball or guys playing baseball through the RBI program?
Well, I feel like they just don't really know fully what's it about. Like, we do have a lot of fun on the field, and at times it can seem intimidating on how good some of the other girls are. But a lot of the girls in the program are good about encouraging each other to get better. And we also don't just have fun on the field, but we also have fun doing activities off the field, like going to see the Red Sox play at Fenway Park.
Cool. That's a good incentive just to join the RBI program in itself, right?
Would it be? Even
absolutely.
Heck, I mean, and the cool jerseys too. Not too bad. This one popped up, foul off first. Moreland will watch that one sail off into the stands. So that's the plan this coming Red Sox season. You're going to see some games at the ballpark.
Yes.
Terrific. Well, make sure you come up to the booth and say hello.
Okay.
Now that we're great friends, don't just ignore me when you're at Fenway. I mean, walk by and go. Don't big league me. In other words.
I will.
Thank you.
How long are you going to play? What's the age limit for RBI baseball and softball?
I believe it's 18.
18.
Yes.
So you're gonna play till you're 18.
Yes.
Good.
And how old are you now?
I'm 15.
So you're like in the middle of your career. You're a veteran, but you got a long way to go yet.
So the next age group would be 16 to 18-year-olds, or is it by age every year? Is the team you play on is just 15-year-olds right now?
Well, it goes by age, but they call it like senior group, frosh group, 12 and under.
I gotcha.
So like you have to be like. Well, it also depends on how well you play. If you can handle the older girls,
right,
then you can play senior.
So you can play up if you're good enough.
Yes.
Okay.
Embry giving up a double here with one man away. Red Sox in a 1-1 tie with the Yankees. Tatiana Bursey, member of the Roxbury RBI team, joining us inside the booth here on Foundation Day. Like a game like today, if you weren't being interviewed by Tim Wakefield, would you be like keeping score today in the crowd? Do you do that?
No, I don't do that, but I enjoy these games a lot.
You'd rather have people keep score of the games that you're throwing nothing but zeros up in, right?
Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you. You're a true athlete. Well, it's been great getting to know you and getting to meet you on behalf of the RBI program, which I know is very important to you and seems to have made a big difference in your life.
Thank you for having me here.
And a very positive difference as well. But congratulations on all your success so far.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tatiana. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Tatiana. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
Good luck, and come see Wake about that knuckleball if you're ever interested.
I will.
Could teach you a few things.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Runner on at second with one down and a 1-1 tie. The Yankees about hit the Sox today. So far 6-3. And like the Red Sox, the Yankees are under new management in 2018. First-year skipper Aaron Boone, as Wake mentions, hails from one of the great baseball families. His grandfather, his father, and his brother all played in the majors.
I know. The chances of that happening is astronomical.
The Bell family is about the same situation as well, right? Ty Bell. And
so rookie manager for the Yankees, a rookie manager for the Red Sox, and they could be going toe-to-toe for a lot of years to come. Alex Cora and Aaron Boone. And another balk. This is the fourth balk we have seen so far in spring training against the Red Sox.
they had a little pickoff play going there, and then Hembree kind of flinched, wasn't sure if he wanted to spin and throw it or not, and kind of half did it and then decided not to. Let's see if we can see what he does here.
This is why we're in spring training.
I didn't see much there.
Yeah, he started to turn his inside shoulder. Yeah, he didn't know. It was definitely a balk. But, you know, I don't really think they're working on pickoff plays right now. I think it's too early in spring training to actually have a set play for a runner on second. But that's why they call it spring training. It's stuff that you need to work on. Get your confidence with runners on base. Learn how to hold runners again. I mean, you would think it would come second nature to a pitcher, but it really doesn't. It takes practice to get in situations that you need to get your body used to again.
Nice scoop by Sandy Leon there to keep that runner at third base. Stacked up on the right side, the Red Sox infielders, 3 men.
That's got to be probably the hardest ball to pick. You know, breaking ball, curve ball should land in front of you, but a slider that's off the plate going, you know, 87 miles an hour. Great pitch there.
Got him to swing and miss for strike 3. 2 gone.
But if you're here all spring, you see, you know, Epi and Tech and all those guys that run the catchers through their drills. They really practice this a lot because it's an important part of the game that if a ball like that gets away from the catcher, then, you know, obviously guys are getting into scoring position a lot more. So you got to tip your cap to you know, Epi, who runs all the catching stuff, and then Tech obviously is here helping as well.
Talked to Jason for a long time about his work with Swihart behind the plate and how much better Blake is at blocking pitches now. I mean, that was really the biggest problem that Swihart had, when kind of why he lost his starting role as a catcher a few years ago, was because he had trouble blocking balls and had to send him back out because he just wasn't an accomplished catcher.
Diving effort, could not make the play. Romine comes through with the RBI single, and the Yankees will take a 2-1 lead.
You know, everybody talks from a catching standpoint is how good you know, Vasquez's arm is to throw runners out, and Sandy's arm is to throw runners out. But that's, I mean, to be able to call a game and to have a good throwing arm, but also blocking balls in the dirt. That's a huge asset to have. You know, Tech was one of the best at it. He worked really hard at being able to prevent runners from taking that extra base on a ball in the dirt.
I'll never forget it. I mean, the heat of July, the Red Sox would be in Texas or someplace. Oh. And you look down on the field. Before a game that he was playing in, he was about to start, he'd be working on the sideline with the bullpen guy on blocking pitches.
Yeah.
And sweat just pouring off him.
And he was starting that night.
And he was starting in the game. You're like, an hour from it, you'd be like, now that's work ethic.
Yeah. That was a routine that those guys had.
Down the left field line foul.
And it paid off.
We did it.
Yeah. Well, that's what he was really talking about with Swihart. He said it's just a matter of him kind of refining his fundamentals back there to put himself in a good position so that he could block the pitches. And that pitch that you're talking about, Wake, is like, you know, that slider that's down and into a left-handed hitter. And when that ball hits the dirt, because of the spin, then it kind of bounces back at you. So you gotta account for that. There's a lot of things, like, you know, the hardest pitch to block as a catcher is a fastball, because that's the one pitch you don't expect to be in the dirt.
It shouldn't be in
yeah,
the dirt.
It's not. You're supposed to throw it where my glove is,
Right.
man. But
Right.
the breaking balls, you know, as soon as you put a number 2 finger down, the first thought in your head is, I got to block it, and I wanted it. Sometimes I want that in the dirt.
Runner goes. Here's the fire down to second. It's going to be off into center field. Backed up very nicely there by Brock Holt. Keep that runner at second base, but a stolen base for the Yankees.
The amazing thing too is you know the Red Sox work at this too, and every other club works on it. It works on breaks on balls in the dirt. So here we'll see what the runner got such a good jump. I don't think Sandy had a too good of a chance to throw him out, but he still made a great throw to almost got him. But going back to blocked balls or balls in the dirt, you know, clubs work on that in certain counts. They know maybe a breaking ball's coming, and as a base runner, they read balls in the dirt and take off as soon as they see it hit the dirt. And if you are a good blocker of the ball in the dirt, like Tech was, and you just saw Sandy do it earlier, that'll prevent the runners from going. They just can't take off and take that extra bag.
Ball's got to be able to skip away from a guy a little bit before you can take it. If you're the catcher and you don't let it skip away from you, then no one's going anywhere.
Well, even if they do go,
if they try, you get them, yeah.
Because the ball's right there.
Tech, a great blocker, pitches in the dirt, and a pretty darn good blocker of home plate.
Oh, the best. How many plays did we see him get his foot down before the runner can? Now that you can't do that anymore, obviously the rules have changed. But he was the best.
Started.
He was the best at getting his foot down there to block the plate as runners were coming in.
He would drape that tree trunk across home plate.
Exactly.
And you were not scoring.
No, not at all.
You were dead. You might have been, 10 feet in front of the throw, but you weren't scoring.
No.
Man at second base here for McKinney. As we chat with a great Tim Wakefield, Steve Lyons, Dave O'Brien, Garen Austin's here. Tom Caron with us on the pregame show as well. Everybody's here today for Red Sox Foundation Day, including a packed house.
Well, the temperature dropped about 10 degrees, 75 instead of 85. Out. It's beautiful.
I hate to say that on the air because so many people are watching in New England suffering through this the second storm of the year that really has devastated that area.
High winds and flooding, high seas, and a lot of damage. So our hearts and prayers are with you.
I hope everyone's safe.
Well, that'll be it for Hembry today. 2-1 Yankees. The Red Sox Foundation auctioning off today's game-used jerseys featuring the Foundation patch. You can bid online for your favorite player's jersey right now. It's live at the moment. You can bid until Friday, March 16 at 4. We'll be back with more from Red Sox Foundation Game Day on Nesson right after this. Carson Smith back and healthy, fully recovered from Tommy John from all indications, and will be a key man in that pen, along with the Joe Kellys of the world, who we saw earlier today, a.k.a. Jim Buchanan. So Tommy, the left-hander, inheriting first and second and 2 down.
Well, the left-handed situation for the bullpen is going to be an evolving one as the rest of this spring goes on, because you're going to have to figure out what Alex Cora wants as far as his lefties out of the pen. He usually like to have 2, but not always. They don't have 2 right now. Robbie Scott, Tommy Lane throwing his hat into the ring, and with the kid that we've seen a lot of, Pointer,
Bobby Pointer,
very good.
Yep.
But
he's been very clean.
Do you want a lefty that you know can get lefties and righties out, so that maybe he can go 4 outs for you? Or are you looking for a lefty that's just going to come in and try to get 1 out and that's it? Sometimes you need both.
I think Robbie Scott is the guy that can get both right-handers and left-handers out. He could be a left-handed specialist if you want him to be, but he can also pitch to right-handers as well.
Popped up third baseman De La Guerra going for it, but comes up empty.
Wind kind of caught up with that ball. It fooled him a little bit, looking up into the sun. That thing didn't travel down the line as far as he thought it was going to. You see the flags blowing.
One, 2. Did not swing the bat.
You know, one good thing about Tommy Lane is he has experience here in Boston, and they know him from previous years, so it might help his chances to make this ball club. And I like the fact that he can throw strikes.
Yeah, that's absolutely a huge reason why he ended up signing here. He'd already been here. They know him.
And threw one there to strike out Cave and get out of any further difficulty in that inning. The Yankees do take the lead here, 2-1 in the middle of the 6th. Sox Foundation Days. We take it to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Talking about the home base program as we salute our veterans and all that they mean to us. And the great work that the home base program does for them. That's in there for a strike on Mitch Moreland, who's grounded out on a couple of occasions today, 0 for 2. 2 runs on 7 hits for the Yankees, a run on 3 hits for the Red Sox. That one scalded into center field for a base hit. So Moreland on to begin the 6th inning.
Shift doesn't help you a whole lot when you hit a ball like that, does it?
Nope.
It's got such a classic Fenway Park swing right there. That ball just driven right up the middle. He was a doubles machine early in the season. Those numbers tailed off a little bit in the second half, but he's a good guy to have around swinging a bat.
Yeah, not only offensively but defensively. He's a Gold Glove first baseman and proved it last year. Some of the plays that he made over there is amazing.
Zue Lin will run for Moreland over at first base, and DeJesus the batter. After Xander Bogaerts went 2 for 2 with a single and a double. I was talking to Alex Cora the other day, and he said probably the most surprised guy in his mind to this point in camp had been Zue Lin. And you know, his efficiency wherever he played, could really move him around, put him on wheels on the infield. He was very impressed.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious that the manager of the Red Sox spent a lot of his professional career as a utility player, and he's making sure that the guys that he has on this team are also very versatile, being able to play other positions. Lynn, who's at first base, never did anything but play in the infield. He's been out in the outfield a bunch of times.
Didn't he play a little bit of the outfield last year when he got called up, or 2 years ago? Or
we did not see him at the big league level, but in the minor leagues he did.
Okay.
You know, Brock Holt, classic example of a guy who was basically a second baseman. Now he's played everywhere.
Yeah. The super utility guy.
Yeah. They have Swihart with an infielder's glove. He's played first base a couple of times down here. He's been in the outfield. Doesn't like it out there too much, but
I don't like him out there either after he broke his ankle.
That wall didn't like him too much either.
So unfortunate. But he's fully recovered from that. Kyle Higashioka is the new catcher for the Yankees.
Very nicely done with the pronunciation there. Good.
Yeah, we got to work on some things in spring training. You know,
that's why it's spring training.
Good that he's in there.
Yeah.
Well, so far you've had the most fun with the utility second baseman for the Red Sox here.
Quiros. Esteban Quiros.
Yes.
That's a fun name to say. That's got some gravity behind it. Esteban Quiros. A little closer this time, but Lynn back in on the dive.
The most interesting utility infielder in the world.
That man right now may be Zue Lin, and his bid to make the ball club out of spring training. Brock Holt is on deck.
You know, I think the most impressive thing, well, probably not the most impressive thing, but one of the things I'm impressed by with Lynn is that he just handles himself well. He kind of just acts like he should be on the club. And he kind of did that last year too. He wasn't flashy, he didn't come, doesn't have a big mouth, he does his job, just acts like he's supposed to be here, and that's a big thing.
And he looks like he's not afraid to be here either.
Yeah, comfortable.
Right? Very comfortable.
He takes off. Floated into right field. Red Sox with a play on. This is going to pay off. First and third. DeJesus got his bat on it, and it found a home and right.
Great jump. Let's look at it again at the double box. You see the jump that Lynn had. He ran right out of the screen on you, and then DeJesus just dumping one into right field here. Excellent awareness by Lynn to see where that ball was, pick it up, move on into third base, and we got first and third.
A couple of men on here with nobody out for Brock Holt. He's hit into a double play, and he's also singled in a run today. He drove in Xander Bogaerts in the fourth inning.
I don't know, Wake, sometimes you go through a season and you just kind of gravitate towards one guy that you really like watching. And for me, for a long time, it's been Brock Holt.
Absolutely.
I love the at-bats he takes. So confident in his own strike zone. He takes a lot of pitches that sometimes he takes strikes that he doesn't want to hit. Doesn't swing at pitches out of the strike zone very often. Doesn't try to do too much with the ball. You know, his preference would be to hit the ball to the left side.
After watching him play for a year or two, I was surprised that I guess it was the Pirates that gave up on him. That's who we got him from, and he's been an outstanding. He can do everything, and he does everything well.
All-star.
Yeah,
he was an all-star, and then he's been sick or injured since that time, and you know, got half the amount of playing time last year as he did 2 seasons ago when he was the all-star. So health is certainly a big issue.
But the importance of a guy like Brock Holt, I can't reiterate that enough. You heard me say it on the air with TC, whether it's the pregame or the postgame show. A championship caliber ball club needs utility players like Brock Holt that can fill in and do a job when somebody gets hurt, or they can, you know, play for 3 weeks in a row, or can give Pedroia a day off and do their job well. It's not an easy position to fill.
Popped it up. And a play along the third base line in foul territory. Runners stay put at first and third, one gone.
The toughest part about being a utility player is playing well when you get your opportunity to play. That's the toughest thing to find. You can find a guy that will play once a week, but he might stink it up once a week too. When you only play twice a week, once a week, very difficult to go out there and get yourself a couple hits, and that's what Brock's been able to do. Talked to him earlier in spring, and he said, look, I thought I might have a chance to open the season as the everyday second baseman. We weren't sure about Pedroia, what his situation was going to be. They hadn't signed Nunez yet. And he said, well, then the team went back out and signed Nunez. I'm so happy to have him back on this club. There wasn't a stitch of animosity or jealousy out of him. It was just like, hey, you know, I thought I might have a better opportunity to play a little bit more every day, but it didn't work out that way. And he says, I've embraced my role as a utility guy.
Sandy today, a ground out to walk. Runner at first on the move, and that one headed toward the alley, kind of a floater, but that'll drop down. A run in. Zue Lin touches home plate. DeJesus down to third, and Sandy Leon picks up an RBI. He has tied the game 2-2.
Sandy with a big swing. Initially, I thought that ball was hit a lot harder, maybe into the gap. It looks like he got it right off the end of the bat, and he just, as you said, OB, floated it out there.
Got just enough of it.
Yeah. Jesus was on the move, so he picked up where the flight of that ball was and then moved on to third.
So the Sox with their third hit of the inning. Here's Selski. Steve has grounded out twice, 0 for 2, but can put the Red Sox in front. Game 1 against the Yankees. Red Sox Foundation game day here on NESN, presented by Biogen Foundation. Here's the 1-0 and a strike. Lail, the right-hander. That's popped into right short. Hammergate coming on. It's going to drop in, and here comes another run. So the Red Sox have taken the lead on a couple, not exactly hard hit, but found the right spot.
You couldn't have kicked one out there better than that. That's a thing of beauty right there. As a hitter, you're like, geez, what did I just do? But that's an RBI and a base hit is what it really is.
You want to do it over again? That's what I used to tell them.
Take 100 of them.
Yeah. So that scene in Bull Durham, one of those hits a week.
Yeah.
The difference
between
a difference between hitting 260 and 300.
That's right. Difference between being in the minors and being in the show.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they'll lift Lail here and go back to the bullpen. With the Red Sox in on top 3-2. We'll take the break as Boston surges in front of the Yankees here on 4 singles 3-2. We'll have more in a moment. The minors, 37 appearances and pitched well. 1.52 ERA for the southpaw.
Maybe they got rid of Tommy Lane because they already had a guy.
Well, the Red Sox have pulled even in hits now at 7 apiece. Only home run in the ball game was hit by Aaron Hicks of the Yankees to this point. That was in the 3rd inning.
Gotta think Aaron Hicks is hoping to improve on the numbers he had from last year. 15 homers, 52 RBIs. You think with consistent playing time for him, he's going to throw up better numbers too. Just another guy in that lineup.
De La Guerra on the day 0 for 2. Starting at third base here this afternoon. Day off for Rafael Devers. And the Sox now trying to add on first and second with 1 away. And he wouldn't chase it. And Uri Tavares now running at second for Sandy Leon. Just in case you're scoring at home. Runners go. Throw down to third, and they're not going to get anybody on a double steal. The Red Sox have him on a second and third.
You know, we've seen some things happen in spring training where you're like, well, that's spring training. Well, that's why we're working on things. But I'll tell you what, the base running has been spot on. Great jumps. Double steal. Love the aggressiveness.
I do too.
Do you?
Fell asleep there for a second. My microphone was not by my mouth.
Bet you didn't like.
No.
Bet you didn't like that aggressiveness when you were pitching. If the other team was doing it.
You're right.
That was a classic, something that Wake could get away with in studio, but not in the booth necessarily. You can ride that mic up, you know. If you put the mic up here, but a problem there. But you can get away with that in the studio because you
have a mic on your tie. Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Right. Who cares? Infield in here for the Yankees with one down. Ooh. That is in there for strike 3.
On that one, De La Guerra decided that he should have swung at that a little bit too late. Pretty good breaking ball there.
Used to call that an underwater swing.
Aquaman.
Yeah, it looks like you're swinging a bat underwater. Can't never get it around.
Oh. He didn't think that was going to be a strike, and then it broke and jelly-legged him a little bit, and he knew he was in trouble.
All you're trying to do is foul it off somehow, get another chance.
Rusney Castillo up to bat with runners at second and third, and he'll look at ball 1. Rusney's had some good at bats this spring. He's made pretty good contact.
I'd like to see him blossom into the player that the Red Sox expected him to be when they signed him. But it's got to be tough.
Yeah, no longer on the 40-man. Steve and I have talked about a couple times so far this spring. You know, let's say he has a big spring and shows off some of those skills you're talking about, Wake. It would feel more like a showcase for somebody else.
Sure.
You know,
that happens a lot in spring training. You know, guys get signed as possible trade situations so they can be showcased during spring training, or you know, trust me, the whole baseball ops department is very a lot smarter than I ever thought about being. But to come up with creative ways to get talent.
2-1. Had to dance out of the way of that pitch, and the count moves to 3-1.
I've been mildly impressed with Castillo this spring. I don't know that there was anyone harder on him than I was when he first came to the big leagues and got big league time. He was not ready to play at the major league level. He didn't look like a baseball player. He looked like a gifted athlete, and he's beginning to learn how to play the game of baseball.
Well, he has a good count for himself here, the 3-1, and around the plate he walked him, so the bases are going to be loaded.
It's so hard, though, from his situation, coming from Cuba and learning
different game.
Not only the game itself, it's a different game over here, especially at this level, but also socially,
cultural differences and all that. Yeah, no question about it. Something that I'll never know about.
I can't imagine having to go through that. It's probably not an easy thing to do.
You know, he was put in a situation that in many cases wasn't his fault. He wasn't ready to be a major league player.
Barfield a hitter and no place to put him. Very impressive at Double-A last year with 27 home runs for Portland. He has on occasion swung the bat with a lot of authority in this camp. He's in a hole now, 0-2 though.
I don't know if I was reading his numbers wrong or not, but 27 homers for Portland, another homer for Pawtucket, and I think 9 home runs in the independent league before they signed him. That's a lot of home runs he was hitting last year.
And a lot of RBIs.
Big kid, 6'5", 250.
And the 0-2. They tossed him the breaking ball, trying to get him to strike himself out.
You play against his dad?
I did. His dad was a stud, boy.
Yes, he was.
All-star in '86, 40 homers.
All loaded up, 2 down, and the 1-2. And he popped him up. Little drifter out to center. Robinson and a collision, and they hang on. That was near disaster for the Yankees, but a catch made, and the Red Sox will leave them loaded. But the Sox also get 2 and now lead at 3-2 after 6. We're going to be talking about Massachusetts Little League, offering boys and girls opportunity to play baseball and softball. And delighted to have with us a member of the Red Sox Foundation Board of Directors, Mike Egan, who's a Dorchester guy and also a Quincy guy like me.
That's correct. Norwood as Norwood as well.
Great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about Little League a little bit. And these are a couple of guys who played some Little League baseball too, as every kid who grows up to be a major leaguer does at some point. What it means to you and what it means to the foundation.
First of all, I want to thank John Berardi, who's the president of Mass Little League, and Rico Machizuki, who's the program director at the Red Sox Foundation that makes this happen. I got involved in Little League playing in Norwood, and it was really important to me. I traveled, my family traveled a little bit when I was young, and I'd go different towns, and when I came to Norwood, it was how I got involved in the community. So it's always been important, joining a team, making friends, learning values, and it's a pleasure to be part of the Red Sox Foundation and be able to give some back. And right now we support 200 Little League teams in Massachusetts. We're doing the Massachusetts State Tournament, and we're doing a bunch of coaches clinics in Massachusetts. And I'm proud to announce that we're expanding into Rhode Island in a partnership with the Red Sox, Pawtucket Red Sox. We're doing the Rhode Island state tournaments, and with the Portland Sea Dogs, we're doing the Maine state tournament. So we're going to bring this New England wide.
Mike, with all that you guys have done, with all the teams that you support, you and I have talked in the past. You say that sometimes it's hard to give away money. Yeah. Why are these Little League programs out there not trying to get this money?
It's something we call the internet. So what we would like, we'll encourage you, every team in every Little League team in Massachusetts, every town in Massachusetts got a Little League team. If you get on the redsoxfoundation.org, you can apply for up to $500 to sponsor any one of your Red Sox teams in your town. And last year we had about an 85% yield, and we need to get that to 100. We're trying to give away, a couple $100,000.
And what does that $500 give to a team?
It pays for the team. The Little League town uses it to pay for the umpires, the balls, and
is it their discretion?
Yeah, it's their discretion. It's a sponsorship of a team. Yeah. And the overlay, the new expansion, as I mentioned earlier, is we're trying to do coaches clinics, and so we're gonna double down this year, next year with not just Massachusetts but some other states. We're trying to basically help the helpers, coach the coaches. Being a player, not as well as these guys did, but Little League was so important. And then as a dad, trying to coach my kids, I found how hard it was to make practices fun and to make the quality of the game a little bit better for the parents watching it. And because, without the dads, without the moms, without the coaches, the volunteers, Little League can't be Little League. And it's such an important part of my community, our community.
The community is so important. I mean, I was obviously lucky enough to have one of the best coaches I ever had was my father, and he coached us through Little League. But you need somebody there. You need a dad that has the time. You need 3 people out there that can run a practice and give these kids the opportunities. Because I know that there are, in some communities, you can't have a Little League team because you don't have people that can coach it. Right. There's no one there available, and that's such a sad thing.
And when we did some polling, we found that some of the dads were hesitant to volunteer because it's not a skill that.
And it doesn't matter if they really know. It's just a body out there helping.
So you give them this coaches clinic, and it gives them that sense of confidence to say, I'll step up and bring my son, bring some friends, and next thing you know, you have a team and the kids are having fun.
We invite you to visit redsoxfoundation.org/Little League for more details on becoming a part of this program. You can do that right now.
You can do it anytime.
You talk about these coaches clinics that you want to do too. You're teaching the values of what Little League baseball means, and it's kind of like the first tee in golf that Little League. I know when I was, going through that from 9 till I was 18, that they really taught the coaches taught the core values of what Little League means.
That's right. I mean, you go to any Little League opening day, there's a Little League oath.
Yep.
And we're not. This is no competition with the RBI program. We're trying to, on behalf of the Red Sox Foundation, we're trying to do anything to touch not only youth sports, certainly youth baseball. It's in our DNA. But whether you're in the inner city, out in the suburbs, play baseball, coach baseball, sponsor baseball. It's America's game, and we're very proud to be part of it.
Carson Smith fanned the first man that he faced, trying to make it back-to-back Ks here. Red Sox are taking a 3-2 lead as we chat with Mike Egan, Red Sox Foundation Board of Directors, talking about Little League, which, you know, for all of us and all of our households as youngsters growing up, it was a part of our life. It was a part of our culture. I had 3 brothers. We all played Little League. Year after year after year. My parents were always involved.
Yeah.
And that's really the golden part of this whole thing.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
That's what we're all trying to do. And we couldn't do it without some help. People from the Mass Health Connector, National Grid, and Hood Milk are direct sponsors through the Red Sox Foundation to make this particular initiative possible, and my thanks go out to all those people.
It's a lot of money.
It's we're growing, and we need to get into New Hampshire, Vermont. There's a big Maine contingent in the Red Sox partnership, and they're dragging us kicking and screaming up to Maine. Our friends the Alphons, Senator Mitchell, are all great Maynards, and we're going to go take this to Maine next year.
Popped up foul territory. De La Guerra able to grab that one for the second out of the inning.
I think this just goes to show you, too, just another aspect of the foundation and what it does. You know, I think this is an excellent opportunity for anybody who's actually watching today to kind of get a new grasp of the things, all the different things that are going on within the organization and the way the Red Sox and the foundation gives back to the community.
Without the community, I mean, there'd be no Fenway Park.
That would be sad.
Yeah.
Man on at first and 2 down here in the 7th. Red Sox and Yankees clashing for the first time. Do you feel a renewed energy on this rivalry?
Oh, big time. Yeah, I was kind of hoping to see Judge today. I don't know if they'll ever get back to the evil empire, but
headed that way.
It's headed that way.
You know, I think we're going to have fun talking about these two teams 19 times this year?
19 times.
Oh, man. I've got.
Good. You look at Carson Smith out there right now. What a great addition he'll have him back being completely healthy. He is so nasty to watch pitch. He struck me out and I haven't hit yet.
Yeah, right.
I saw the last game he pitched before he got hurt. Boy, I've never seen a slider like that.
Neither any of those guys. That's why they can't hit it.
It's amazing that just the delivery, how awkward it is from a hitter standpoint to stand in there and try to hit 98 to 100.
And then that slider, and you can't pick it up. He doesn't have a real consistent release point that any hitter can really track down.
He's going to steal Steve Lyon's nickname as the king of the divots with all the ground balls he gets.
I didn't know that was your nickname. I'm going to have to bring that to fantasy camp.
Oh, great.
Get you fined.
Just what I need.
Get him fined. Absolutely.
Steve and I just finished playing baseball together a couple weeks ago.
Ground ball first got his glove on it. Travis got some leather on it. They're going to be safe on the corners here for the Yankees on the base hit. So they are threatening to tie it here in the 7th inning. Travis with an outstanding effort, but just managed to slow it down.
That's a new position for him, right? First base.
Well, he's bouncing around a little bit. They're talking about maybe playing him out in the outfield. He hasn't really had a position. He did a good job there. He's in position to make the play. Ball's just hit like a rocket down the line.
He's such a good hitter. They're trying to find a position for him.
Had a couple home runs in yesterday's ball game. He's a Hoosier out of Indiana.
So a walk and a base hit.
Honestly, I don't know if you know this, OB. I'm not 100% sure. Didn't he and Kyle Schwarber go to school at the same time?
They did. At Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah.
First matchup in the regular season between these two will be April 10th, 11th, and 12th at Fenway. And I think for early season series, take from them what you will. That'll be probably the most spotlighted in all of baseball. Those 3 games, Sox and Yankees.
Midweek too.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a big weekend matchup. They're coming midweek. Go at it. Everybody will be watching.
I think that sometime in April we'll have Little League opening day at Fenway. The mayor, the mayor's request, we've opened up Fenway every year for a Little League opening day, and it's
terrific.
It's probably my favorite part of being part of this initiative is going there and I position myself right in center field where all the families come in, and I try to shake every hand and say hello to all these mums and dads and kids who are playing. It's my favorite part of the whole year.
I bet you did the same thing. We all did, growing up in New England. One of the great days of the year was when your Little League team.
Oh, the parade.
Yeah, the parade.
Yeah.
And you sit on the bleachers.
Yeah, well,
and you thought you were right behind home plate. You could care less, right?
How many participants do you have in that?
At the opening day in Boston,
the Little League opening day.
Oh,
yeah.
they let the kids go in the field and not the infield, but the outfield. I think we have 3,000 or 4,000 people.
Yeah,
it is a great day.
I was out there for one of those a couple years ago.
2 best parades of my life: Little League and the World Series.
Let's manage another couple of those this year if we can, Mike. That'd be great. More duck boats.
More duck boats. We didn't have duck boats in Norwood, but
yeah, we didn't in Marshfield either when I was a kid growing up. Check swing, and Smith will handle that to retire the side. Mike Egan, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Appreciate it very much.
Thanks for staying with me, Stevie.
Thank you.
Hey, Tim, we'll see you around. All right, cheers.
We'll continue on. Red Sox with a 3-2 lead here. Red Sox Foundation auctioning off today's game-used jerseys. We'll be back with more from the Red Sox Foundation Game Day on Nesson right after this. It's coming up against the Yankees, leading at 3-2. Right now, we toss it downstairs to Garen Austin.
Well, thank you, OB. Well, Alex Cora was telling us that Drew Pomerantz was being evaluated and getting an MRI today in Fort Myers. Now, they're hoping to have the results of that after the game. Now, Cora said that he talked to Pomerantz after yesterday's game, and he said that he felt okay, so that is encouraging. And Cora also said that they are aiming for Eduardo Nunez to DH on Wednesday, so that will be the first time that we see him this spring. And guys, Cora also spoke about the Kimbrel family. He said this is a very tough situation. They are continuing to pray and keep them in their thoughts right now. Guys.
We all are. Thank you very much. And, you know, you've talked about that story on a couple of occasions, Garen. Thank you for those updates very much. And family has been through so much. And more surgery for the youngest Kimbrel, and everybody in this camp feels the same way. Our hearts just go out, and We are hoping for nothing but the best. Here's Devin Marrero hitting for the first time today against the right-hander Cody Carroll for the Yankees. Sox in the lead 3-2 over New York. It went off the mitt all the way to the backstop. Zhu-Wei Lin on deck.
This last thing Marrero wanted to come in for his first at bat and have this guy zipping the ball over the place over his head.
At 96.
Red Sox outstanding bullpen. The Yankees with a vaunted bullpen. Yankee pen anchored by Aroldis Chapman and Dellin Betances. Although Betances was particularly wild last year. He had a walk rate around 17%, highest walk rate for a qualified reliever in baseball since 2013.
Stuff was so nasty, even he couldn't control it.
3-2 poke foul. That's interesting too. We've been talking about the rule change in baseball that has caught the most attention, that is limiting mound visits. But we all thought that a pitch clock would be on the docket this year. That'll be ball 4.
Another one up around his neck. That was not a comfortable at bat for Marrero at all. He got to hack at about one pitch, and then everything up was up around his lips.
I thought for sure the pitch clock would be introduced this year. The Players Association didn't want it and effectively knocked it out. But I've been told on pretty good authority that the way that works is you introduce the idea, the proposal, 1 year. The owners, the next year, had it been rejected the previous year, they can simply implement it the following year. Is that correct?
That's what I understand. It wasn't part of the CBA when I played, but I think it's part of the CBA now that, you know, if the idea is implemented and it's rejected, the owners can implement that the next year. Yes.
And that would be my expectation, is that in 2019, if you're a fan of the idea of a pitch clock, it's coming your way.
I am a fan of it, but that doesn't seem too diplomatic. Hey, we propose an offer to you right now. You flatly reject it. So next year we can just say it's the golden rule this year?
Yep.
That doesn't seem right. What if they propose something that's preposterous?
Well, he can shoot it down, but then the next year. Yeah, well, look, I think these are reasonable men on both sides. I think, well, they are. And I think, you know, nobody's going to do anything ridiculously crazy. Like, what would you suspect that would be? I mean, I don't think we have to worry about that. Pitch clock is not anything ridiculous.
No, in fact, I'm all for it.
I don't know if that's going to change it. I'm all for it too, because as we're witnessing what we talked about before the game started, is the pace of game. And right now, we just saw the pitcher go from 0-2 to 3-2 and walk the guy. I think that's the biggest issue is the ability to throw strikes consistently and not be afraid to challenge hitters. The guy throws, you know, he's throwing hard, 96, but
doesn't want to throw it over the dish.
Well, you know, I don't know how old this young man is and what level he's at right now, but, you know, nerves could be an issue with him, or I don't know. He's got good stuff. It's just a matter of, you know, this is why spring training is spring training, right? You send guys up to get him into a game and then maybe showcase him to the organization that he's trying to make a team with. And again, I hate to see rule changes come without the players' support, but I think that the players need to take charge of the issue at hand, and that's the pace of play. If they don't want a pitch clock, then they need to do something else about it, in my opinion. And I will always side with the players on that.
And I completely get a pitcher's own particular pace, his own particular tempo, particularly when he's got, Stanton up there with the bases loaded in the 6th inning. I get it.
There's a time to slow the game down, right? And then there's a time to go at a pace that could benefit you from a starter standpoint or from a pitcher standpoint. You keep your defense on its toes. You talk to any position player, when it's ball 1, ball 2, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, they're on their heels.
Yeah.
And what they're thinking, I asked a couple guys, what are you thinking when this whole process is going on? They're going, please don't hit it at me. Because they're not ready.
Or else they're saying, please throw the ball over the plate. Let's go.
To me, one of the differences is, in your mind, has baseball reached a critical moment? It kind of comes down to that on pace of play. As that one is poked foul out of play. In other words, if you're a fan, if you're a broadcaster, you're a coach, manager, player, whatever, has the game reached that point where something must be done on pace of play or not? If you're on the other side of the argument, you'll say, well, the game's perfect the way it is. Why are you messing with it? Don't introduce more rules. In fact, make less rules. Don't do that. The game will police itself. Players will police themselves.
I agree with that statement. But there's another side to that, and that's the business side of it, because there's a lot of money in advertising and what goes on the television side of it, that you're losing sponsorships to length of game, to the lack of youth involvement because of pace of play.
Yeah, I mean, you can tweak the rules. I don't think you have to bring tremendous rule changes, and I think a pitch clock is a kind of a tweak. If they said the game will police itself, well, that hasn't happened. We're going in the opposite direction, so maybe they need a little tweak to get them to police themselves a little bit better.
It's a nudge.
They're not understanding that the games continue to get longer, and they're the guys playing it.
I will make an excuse from the player standpoint, is that back in the day when you and I played, there was maybe 2 minutes between innings, right? Now it's other than national televised games, it was 2 minutes. Then national televised games was 2:30. Now every game is 2:30, and you add another. I know it doesn't seem like much,
but over the course of 9 innings,
that's an extra 10 minutes of advertising. That's and we're talking, and I said this earlier in the broadcast, that we're not talking about a drastic amount of time. Literally, we're talking about 10 to 15 minutes of extra time versus 10 years ago.
And to me, you're talking about two different things. Length of game and pace of play are two different things.
Correct.
So what baseball wants to do and is trying to do with this is simply add more action in between those commercial breaks.
Sure.
And to your point, throwing strikes, to Steve's point, calling more strikes, those would both help a tremendous amount.
Right.
In more rapid action in baseball. Throw the ball, put the ball in play, run the bases, let's go.
Right.
And the players should understand as well that extra 10 minutes in ad time goes a long way towards the salaries that they're making these days. That's where the big money's coming from, and these guys are making good money. They all understand that, but they do have to understand, to keep the interest in the game, that they may have to change slightly the way they play it so that they can keep the interest.
These are the best players in the world, the best at what they do on the planet. We want to see them play. I want to see these guys pitch, swing the bat, run the bases.
Right.
Make great defensive plays. We all do. And more of that at a rapider pace. And I think we're headed that way. I think the Commissioner of Baseball, Rob Manfred, is very aware of this. I think he's handled it brilliantly to this point. And I'm all for it. And some of it has come out of the Red Sox organization, this nudge that you guys are talking about. And there are other things we can do, too, to enhance play. I think, for example, bases should have microphones on them. We need to be a little careful with some of that. I get it. But let's put fans on the field. put them right there on the field where you can hear that tag hit the knee, and you can hear, maybe we can edit it a little bit, the argument over whether he was out or safe, you know.
Well, you just always do that in replay, so that if there's a word you don't want to hear, it's, you know, you don't show it or whatever. But hey, that's all been done before.
Yeah.
I mean, back when I was working for Fox years ago, they put mics in the bases. They put cameras out in front of home plate. But what was it, Jorge Posada? Didn't he come out and stamp on the cameras because he didn't want to see him? So that was kind of a, you know, that's kind of a crummy thing to do. You know, you're trying to enhance the game. You're trying to make everybody see it. Like you said, I thought one of the greatest things in the game is, like, we've always seen the game. I wanted to hear more of it.
Yeah.
Plays at second base, conversations. But those conversations need to be put back in replay so that you're sure you're not giving away anything.
Runner goes, but right into a double play possibility. And that'll do it here for the Red Sox. Double play retires the side. Red Sox still in front 3-2 at the end of 7. Red Sox Foundation Game Day on NESN. The Red Sox Scholars Program is a college scholarship and enrichment program that is managed by the Red Sox Foundation, as we take a closer look.
Launched in 2003, the Red Sox Scholars Program has provided mentoring, enrichment activities, and college scholarships to me and 273 other Boston Public School students. Now in its 15th year, the Red Sox Scholars Program earned Major League Baseball's first ever Commissioner's Award for Philanthropic Excellence in 2010. My name is Ruzindi St. Fort. I'm 20 years old and I grew up in the Jamaica Plain area of Boston. I was selected to be a Red Sox Scholar in 2008 and then went on to attend Boston Latin School when I graduated in 2015. I was born in Haiti and I came to the U.S. in 2006, and I found out about the scholarship in 4th or 5th grade. I think I applied because I saw it as my first step of taking advantage of the opportunities that the United States would give me. The interview just got me ready to be able to present myself, you know, what purpose do I have, like what goals am I trying to go towards. It's definitely more than a scholarship because I feel like it set up my life for success, really from the 5th grade up to now. With all the resources that they gave me, the goals, the vision that they had for me, everything was just planned out so that there was no way I could fail.
Well, college scholarship program managed by the Red Sox Foundation awards $10,000 scholarships to 12 academically talented low-income Boston area 7th graders each year and supported 274 students since 2003. NESN and other networks may experience brief interruptions to their satellite transmission today due to naturally occurring sun outages. These sun outages could occur for several days around this time of year. Today, potentially between 4:15 and 4:23. Another reason we wanted the game to move along. We apologize if this naturally occurring phenomena interrupts our signal here today.
Never heard of sun outages before.
Yeah. And you would think, you know, today of all days, but
there's plenty of it up there, isn't there?
Ruzindi St. Fort, Red Sox scholar, and Kate Dawson, Biogen Foundation Board Chairperson, joining us right here at Fenway Park. Kate, great job on the pitch today.
Oh, thank you very much. I practiced.
You did practice.
Awesome.
Yes.
And talk about the practice a little bit, because you were like, you know, I'm not bouncing it.
I refused to bounce it, yes. I have a son who's in college, and he took me out to the local field, and we threw pitches for quite some time to make sure that I didn't bounce it.
That's the worst thing to hear when you're honored to throw out the first pitch. Somebody says, "Whatever you do, don't bounce it."
Bounce it. Was that great story that Derek Jeter? This was right after 9/11. The President Bush, came out and he threw out the first pitch. It was a huge event, a packed Yankee Stadium, and Derek Jeter worked with the president throwing in the tunnel before the game, and the president said, "You know, any advice?" And Jeter said, "Don't bounce it because I don't care. They'll boo you. It doesn't matter." So good job.
That's what they told me. They would boo me, but they didn't.
Well done. Great day, obviously, for the Red Sox Foundation. Thanks for all that Biogen is doing and how involved you were today. And we saw the check presentation and everything today. What does it mean to you personally?
to
be involved.
participate.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's been, for 4 years, we've been partnering with the Red Sox Foundation, and you know what we get out of this, and especially working with the Red Sox Scholars program, is just tremendous. And so it's really an honor, again, and many people have said today it's been an honor to be here, and it is an honor for us just to sponsor this event and partner with the Red Sox Foundation, all the important work they're doing.
Scholars program is such a terrific program. What does it mean to you?
Well, I like the Scholars program because as a scholar, I feel like I'm the child of the Red Sox Foundation. In a sense, I've inherited all of the connections and partnerships, all of the resources that would help me to succeed. They know so many amazing people. Just today, I was just getting to know some of the leaders of nonprofit organizations that were explaining how they're impacting the community, the Dimmick Center, and it's a lot of things that I've been interested in, and just to be connected to those kind of people, I feel it's a privilege. It's awesome.
Well, Cindy, what opportunities has this Red Sox scholarship provided for you over the past so many years?
Well, I do receive a $10,000 scholarship that I've been using. I'm a junior now, and I've been using it every year thus far. But I like how they want you to succeed. They want any goals that you have in life to provide the means for you to do that. And so one of the things that I was able to do last summer is to use part of the scholarship fund to take an EMT class, because I was interested in medicine, but I didn't really want to be a doctor, and so I wanted to do the pre-hospital setting thing. And they helped me to afford the EMT class, and now I'm officially licensed. And it was just kind of, it seemed like a sidetrack to my academic goals, but they were all for it. They want me to succeed in every goal I have, every area.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. Thank you very much.
Is it as exciting as you thought it would be?
Yeah, for sure. I also I feel empowered because now I have the skill and I can probably help someone on the street, and yeah, so it's really cool.
Empowered, yes, indeed.
Yes,
so
sorry.
No, that's all right. Go ahead.
So one of the key things that I've noticed is that when you have resources that enable you to get knowledge, and because the Scholars Program is the part that focuses on education and making sure that people in marginalized communities have access to education, I really feel that education gives you power. And so with this EMT class, I have the power potentially to save someone's life. And it's just in every area. I love that I
don't want you to, think that it's not, because it's all of that. But one day, aren't we going to be voting for you? I mean, shouldn't politics be where you're headed next? I mean,
my question to him, and I hope politics is the next step for him, but he said the EMT class was a sidebar to his educational goals. What are your educational goals? What do you want to do?
Well, so I'm currently a double major in psychology and philosophy. And because of my philosophical side, I do get that comment a lot. Oh, you should totally do politics. And but what I'm thinking of is on a smaller scale, maybe community development. I'm trying to get into social work, working with youth and young adults, because I want to invest in them and empower them the same way that I've been empowered.
Kate, do you see this a lot with this program, that young people like Ruzindy are talking not about what's in it for them? They're talking about what's in it for everyone else as a result of their scholarship, their education.
Oh, absolutely. I think, furthermore, I've had the privilege to be one of the judges to help select the scholars. And I think as you read the incredible stories of the people that are applying, they've already kind of got that inside themselves, that they want to help. They've already done amazing things and overcome so much in their lives just to get there, and they know they have this hunger for education and to make a difference in the world. So I think the program brings it out even further and gives them, as you said, empowers you to actually make that difference in the world. And for that, it's for us just to participate the little that we do and to support it is just an amazing.
Well, yeah, you're down playing it, but I mean it's money in the end, and what that money means, what's behind that money that makes the difference in lives, right?
Yes, for sure, yeah.
But these kids have it, kids, young adults, I mean, they already have it in themselves, and we're just helping to unlock it.
It's funny, as you said that, I remembered one of the questions that was asked when I was in 5th grade for the scholarship was, if you had a lot of money and you could change the world, what would you do with it? And I definitely wanted to tackle a lot of problems that communities were experiencing. And so just thinking about that, I was thinking about that in 5th grade, and now I'm definitely headed in that direction. So you're definitely right.
Well, good for you. And you know, in the end, it's going to be better for all of us.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Congratulations, the success on everything, particularly the pitch today to start. That got the day off rolling. Because, like you say, if you bounce it, everybody, oh man, you know, you throw a strike like that, outstanding. And of all the things today that you're going to hear wonderful reactions to, that'll be number one.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
I'll say that when I went to get the ball from the catcher, he said, "Nice job." I said, that's all I needed to hear was "nice job" from the catcher.
Right. Kate Dawson and Rosendi St. Ford, thank you both for joining us and letting us talk about the Red Sox Scholars and all the great work done by that program, the Red Sox Foundation, and Biogen as well for all the great work you do. Thank you both.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for the visit. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
We will be voting for Rosendi one day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's on the way. Well, a little bit of a rally here for the Yankees. They've got runners at second and third, infield in, nobody out here in the top half of the 8th. And Robbie Scott out of that bullpen, and he deals downstairs. So the Red Sox slender lead in some jeopardy in the 8th. And a 2-0. Fly it into center field. Castillo. He'll come in on it. Runner back to tag at third. Makes the catch. He's going to stay put. Not going to test it. That was a good idea with nobody out, not trying to score. Big first out there for the Red Sox.
It's amazing how windy it is once it gets over that green monster. We've seen so many fly balls hit to the left or left center that have actually come back, and you could see the outfielders deciding on actually who's going to catch that. Rusney had to come in. The ball was hit pretty good, and Rusney had to come in on that a long way.
At Fenway, you'd be the perfect guy to ask about this. And I always asked you about weather stuff when you were pitching for the Red Sox, because I knew you would be the one who would be the authority on it. Which flags did you look at when you came out to pitch at Fenway on a given day when the wind was blowing that told you what was actually happening? Because sometimes the ones right over the press box and the ones out in right center are blowing in different directions.
Yeah, I would always look at the one above the press box on top of the stadium, because that was a little bit higher and they could really judge on which way the wind was blowing. I think because of the landscape change around Fenway and in and out of the fens there, with so many new buildings going on, that it's actually changed the aerodynamics of the ballpark.
Now, I've heard a lot of people talk about that. All those buildings, and it's different than it was 15 years ago.
Yes, none of that was there when I played when I first got here.
Changing the wind currents, right? That's a gap shot into left center field. That's going to score a couple of runs here for the Yankees, and they're going to take the lead on the 2-base hit. So for Robbie Scott, a little rough sledding here this afternoon.
That was a great piece of hitting by that young man.
And dropped that down into the gap.
I think Robbie was trying to throw him a slider off his front hip, and he stayed with it and actually drove it to left center, and it got between Rusney and the left fielder.
Hendricks with a double to score 2. Back up to the top of the order now. And Robinson, the batter, with a man at second. 4-3 New York. This one has been a bit of a seesaw today here in Fort Myers. One man out, 3 hits in the inning. Did you get the feeling, Wake, that this was never the case when you played for the Red Sox, but did the rivalry almost disappear for a while between the Red Sox and the Yankees?
I think after I was gone, you know, I think what makes a rivalry for me is when I was a part of it, it was a group of guys, the core group of guys that played against each other for a certain number of years. Like, for example, me, Tech, Pedro, Euclid, that David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez against, you know, the Posadas, the Jeters, the Bernie Williams. I mean, we played against, you know, those 5 to 10 players played against each other for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And when you're competing for the American League East title every single year, there's a hatred that, not that we hate the other players, you know, because, you know, we, out of respect to them, very good players, but there's that tension that comes, and you're playing each other 19 times a year, and you lose to them, you get your butt kicked one time, and then you get mad. It's that heated rivalry that happens, and I think what you saw from maybe 2012, maybe 2009 to 2012. You saw both teams start to get rid of their veteran players, myself included, Tech. You know, as we see Alex go talk to Bobby Scott, but it's and the Yankees were in the same boat. Some of those players were getting old and retiring,
yep.
and Jeter left and all that stuff, and now you're seeing the Bogarts, the Betts, the Benintendis, the Jackie Bradley Juniors, and now you're seeing the Sanchez's and the Gregorius, the Judges. They're starting. They've played against each other for 2 or 3 years now, and they understand what the rivalry is. From us telling them what it is, but also feeling it.
Yeah.
You know, the media has a little bit to do with it too. They can stir it up a little bit, but nothing will ever replace the adrenaline that I felt when you went into Yankee Stadium to play the Yankees. I don't care if it was in April. It was a playoff atmosphere.
You know, we grew up with those. The other part of it, there were so many great games, spectacular moments. Even, you know, discounting playoffs for a minute, you know, you think of particularly brilliant games that were pitched or home runs that were hit, Yankees Red Sox head to head, and that fueled the rivalry. I think one thing that's introduced to this next edition of the rivalry is social media.
Yeah,
because now they can go after each other that way too. You know. Yeah,
we didn't have that when we played them guys, but you know, there was some head hunting, and there was some beanballs that had happened, some fights that broke out. Obviously, the biggest one was Tech and A-Rod, but you know, this rivalry fueled that anger sometimes, and I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it. It's when you look back on it now, it was a moment in my career that I'll never forget. Being able to be part of the most, or the biggest rivalry in sports, in my opinion, and it was a lot of fun. You know, I remember, you know, my college roommate was from Connecticut. He was a huge Red Sox fan, and watching Red Sox Yankee games back then, that he would get sent by VHS back in the 80s, that he would watch, and to see, you know, the fights that would break out.
Oh, the fights were legendary.
Legendary.
And even, obviously, you know, well before you played.
But you don't see that anymore.
No. And, you know, you saw a little bit of it, maybe like the Cardinals and the Cubs a couple of times. It only flares up when managers really have a hard time with each other these days, I think.
Yeah.
But, you know, obviously last season we saw the Sox and the Orioles.
Yeah.
Mix it up pretty good all summer long.
Yeah.
Reared its head. And maybe it'll be the Sox and the Yankees again, but
I think you will see it. I think we saw a little bit of it last year. It started to rear its head a little bit, and like I said, you'll see it pass a generation maybe, or a decade will go by, and you're like, well, yeah, that. Remember, that was a great rivalry between the Red Sox and the Yankees, and then all of a sudden you have these changes in organizations where the younger players are coming through the minor league system that play together and fight together, now are playing each other at the same time.
Yep. Could be high octane stuff. Well, runners at first and second for the Yankees. And one man out. They've got a couple of runs in the inning to take the lead. And Teddy Stankiewicz out of the bullpen for the Red Sox here. And looking for a ground ball right at somebody. Waved and missed. Yankees now with 10 hits, 1 home run. Aaron Hicks hit that back in the 3rd inning. He's one of the regulars that Aaron Boone did bring here to Fort Myers today. And that one really disappeared on him, and he struck him out.
That's a nice slider there. That's what you call a disappearing slider.
Yep, fell off the table by Stankiewicz. Andujar, one of the top prospects for the Yankees. He's really been swinging a bat so far here in the spring. And has shown some power. He'll look at a strike. In a lot of people's minds, the Yankees are the glamour pick in 2018 because of the trade for the National League MVP Giancarlo Stanton from the Marlins. That means their lineup, their new lineup, belted 169 home runs last year. It's one more than the Red Sox belted as a team without J.D. Martinez. Of course, J.D. hit 45 and now in the fold. The Red Sox really kept Aaron Judge, in check, and scouts will tell you that he can be pitched to, that Sanchez can be pitched to, that Stanton has holes. As good as they all are, they can all be pitched to.
I totally agree with that. I mean, TC and I talked about it on the pregame show about do you pitch to your strength or to their weaknesses, and I think it's a mixture of both. I think you have to stay with your strengths, even though it might be the hitter's strengths, but you have to show the other team or show the hitter that you're facing that you're not afraid to pitch to your strengths. But you also have to know where his weaknesses are and attack those as well. So it's a pretty good mix of both.
That's a rocket, and that's a fair ball off the sidewall. That's going to bring in at least one more run. Fired into second base to hold the runner to first, but it's an RBI single. And the Yankees expand their lead to 5-3. Andujar jumping all over that one. That'll send up Peterson. The Yankees now with 4 hits in the inning and 3 runs. Well, so much made of the Yankees offensively speaking, and their pitching should be pretty darn good too, but there are questions there. You know, how long can CC Sabathia hold up? They brought him back for another year.
Yeah, that's a big question mark in their rotation. He made a huge adjustment last year and was able to win a lot of games and pitch them into the postseason last year, but can he sustain that this year?
And can Tanaka hold up? Ground ball to second. Flipped on for the Force to retire the side, but a big inning for the Yankees. They grab the lead 5-3 Here in the 8th, the Red Sox Foundation auctioning off today's game-used jerseys. And you can bid online for your favorite player's jersey at redsox.com/RSF auction. Auction live right now. And we'll be back with more from Red Sox Foundation Game Day on NESN right after this. Well, back here for the last half of the 8th inning, Tim Wakefield, Steve Lyons, and Dave O'Brien. We apologize for the interruption of our transmission signal. This was caused by the naturally occurring sun outages that sometimes happen at this time of the year. You didn't miss one word of anything from Steve Lyons' analytics because Steve went to get himself a sandwich or something during the sun outage, and he was not with us on the broadcast. So.
I don't do sun outages.
So the Sox coming to bat here in the bottom of the 8th. Jonathan Holder, the right-hander, working out of the bullpen. Sam Travis leading things off. Sam taking a turn at first base today. And a punch shot out there in the left center field. That's going to drop down for at least a base hit. He'll take a big turn. And a good start for the Red Sox here in the 8th inning on the single by Travis.
Don't look now, but Sam Travis starting to heat it up a little bit. A couple home runs yesterday. Now a good stroke right there.
I told you he can hit. They're just trying to find a position for him.
And Uri Tavares will be next. This one's been going back and forth throughout the day. Yankees struck first. Red Sox took the lead. Yankees took it back with 3 in the 8th inning. Dribbler to Andujar into second for 1. They cannot turn the double play. So Travis erased in the middle. So that'll be Dan Butler. Sandy Leon got the starting catcher's assignment today. Sandy had an RBI single. And Tavares back in on a dive. Red Sox so far 7-2 in spring training games here in Florida. And a veteran catcher, and he'll lay off in there for a strike.
Such a good guy to have in camp all the time. Need those extra catchers to catch all the extra pitchers you have down here in spring training. Comes in, busts his tail, doesn't say a word, works hard. Got his chance to play in the big leagues a little bit. What was Butler a couple years ago when he got called up to the big leagues? He was like 30 years old, wasn't he?
I think so.
And Holder with the 0-2. Breaking ball swatted into left field. Hendricks will make that catch. 2 down.
OB, you're holding out on us too this year so far.
In what way?
I have not once heard you say Swifty. I love Swifty.
You know,
not one time so far. Are you rounding into shape?
I've got that in there, and
it's in the repertoire.
By the way, you should hear my here comes the 3-2. I mean, I think I've gotten
perfected that one down. We've heard it a lot.
Some of them
already.
you don't.
I've heard no Swifties.
You don't need to roll them all out in spring training. I don't want everyone to see it or hear it. So. But it's coming. You know it's coming.
I know it's coming. It's one of my favorites.
This is a marathon. Swifty. It's not a sprint.
And
Can you use that in a sentence, please?
It's a fastball. it's a fastball. It's
Swifty is a fastball.
Yep.
Interesting.
X says cheese with hair on it. OB says Swifty.
2-1 Swifty.
That's right. I like it. That was exactly what that was.
Did you call my knuckleball wobbly?
He never called it a Swifty.
No.
I call
definitely not Swifty.
Anything I could get my hands on to describe the knuckleball. And most of the time you can't describe it properly.
No.
The butterfly.
Yeah.
Is it
heard that one?
That one in there. Yeah. I mean, it's a dazzling pitch when thrown right.
Yes.
Obviously, and you had such great success with it. Toward the gap. Robinson will play that on a bounce. Tavares rounding into third will stop there. So the Red Sox with their second hit here in the 8th.
By your favorite player.
Esteban Quiros.
The most interesting man.
That's it. He's another one of those guys that Alex Cora said he may try to get him into the outfield. Play a little bit outfield.
Rusney Castillo with an opportunity now. Get the Sox a little bit closer. Barfield on deck. Rusney with a walk last time. Line drive off the end of the bat foul.
Finger beauty.
And that's how the conversation goes, like down the dugout, right? Like, little flare like that. Ooh, that would have been a thing of beauty.
No, of course. Maybe a couple of different words.
Yeah, a little more colorful, maybe.
Yes, maybe.
Two down. And he pokes that one foul. 0-2 on Rusney. Rusney hoping to be wearing a major league uniform someplace come opening day. And Holder with the 0-2. He wouldn't chase it. 5 runs, 11 hits for the Yankees, 3 runs, 7 hits for the Sox today.
But you never thought that the shadows would creep in a spring training game.
I was kind of hoping they wouldn't today. There they are.
What was that thing we called the sunburst period of
sun
time?
Outages.
The
That's
sun
when
outage.
the solar rays of the sun interfere with the signal from the satellite.
That's a very good educational point you just laid on me right there.
It naturally occurs, I'm being told.
So we have the sun outages and now spring training shadows all on the same day.
Naturally occurring. And it did occur. And the 2-2 to Rusney Castillo. Foul tipped into the mid and held for strike 3. So that'll do it for the Sox. They'll strand a couple of men at the end of 8. 5-3 the Yankees. Service scholarships, and they're awarded to $665,000 each to New England high school seniors since 2009. Haley McCone earned hers in 2015.
Yes.
And joining us in the booth, Haley, great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
How'd you feel when your name came up and you won the scholarship?
Oh my God, it was amazing. I've always been such a diehard Red Sox fan, and I applied for that, and I did not think I was going to get it. And when I was actually in Florida with my family in Disney World when we got the phone call, so it was a pretty good week.
Yeah,
you think?
But
Yeah.
why would it run through your mind that you wouldn't get it?
Well, I had a lot of kids from my high school that applied for it. I think there was probably about 10 or 15 of us that applied
Wow,
for it. Yeah,
okay.
so
Well, you won.
yes.
And you were the lucky recipient. And what did it do for you in the end?
I mean, it was just a great opportunity to. I've always been very into volunteering. In high school, I did a lot of work with Special Olympics. Profit in Rhode Island to help educate and preserve the Narragansett Bay. So it was just a great opportunity to be recognized for.
Who instilled these values that you have now of giving back to the community? I know in my situation it was my parents, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, my family has always been very helpful with that. And with Special Olympics was very close to my heart because I do have family members who do have disabilities. So
Yeah.
that was definitely in high school. That was definitely something that I wanted to get involved with. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate you doing that. For me, being philanthropic in the community, I felt like I had a platform, but you didn't have that platform, and it's amazing that you volunteer your time to give back to certain special interests that you have a desire to do. It truly is commendable.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that's important, is to find something that you are passionate about, that you do want to be able to give back with something. It makes it easier to want to volunteer.
Right.
Once you find something that you are passionate about, yeah.
And Haley, how is your love of community service and your need to give back? How's that defined the kind of person you intend to be in the future and your future plans?
Yeah, so I mean, I've always wanted to give back, which volunteering gives you an opportunity to be able to test out different fields almost and get values that you wouldn't be able to normally. So especially with Save the Bay, Save the Bay helped me realize that I wanted to help animals. So right now I am pre-vet, so that definitely, it helped me realize what I wanted to do with my career.
And where are you going to school?
University of Rhode Island.
Oh, very good. So URI.
Yep.
Has your basketball team had a pretty good year?
Hi, I mean, I guess you could say we've had a pretty good year. What are we, 14th right now?
Yeah.
14th? Yeah.
Darn right.
Pretty good this year, yeah.
I knew you wanted to get that in there. Yeah.
Go Rhodey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go Rhodey, yeah, definitely. I think our baseball team isn't too shabby either these days.
This is a good time.
Yeah,
you know,
good time to be
for URI.
Rhodey Ram. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And a big March coming, I think. You know, the basketball
yeah, definitely.
team. Big
Should
swing
be
and a miss.
interesting.
Martin gets a strikeout here. It is part of the coolness too of this scholarship, the connection to the Red Sox. You mentioned, I mean, you grew up a Red Sox fan, and coming to Fenway and following, you know, the Tim Wakefields of the world, then you get a chance to really be involved with the organization, kind of in a different way.
Yes.
That has to be great for you.
Oh, it's amazing. And can I just say, I'm like trying not to freak out sitting next to you right now, but yeah.
Thank you. I get that a lot.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, definitely. You too. But yeah, it's great. I mean, like I said, I've grown up a diehard fan. I spend most of my birthdays at Fenway Park. My birthday's in August. So
you've seen Wake pitch in person?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
August what?
2nd.
That's my birthday.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh my.
Did you not know that?
I really didn't know that. That's crazy.
That's my birthday. I know.
It's a good birthday.
So now they have something in common.
Yeah, definitely. That's funny. I didn't know that.
That is true. You can look it up in the media guide. We've got, you know, used to wish him happy birthday every August 2nd. So
yeah.
Still doing it. Well, that's tremendous for you. And again, congratulations. And
Thank you.
Congratulations for, you know, the kind of person you are and intend to be. I mean, you talk about love of animals and what you want to do. And that falls in line with how you were raised and the kind of person you are.
Yeah, definitely.
Good for you.
Thank you.
That's a tough road, though, isn't it? I mean, the veterinary road, that's not easy. No easy shakes there.
Should be a very interesting couple of years.
Yeah.
Should be pretty tough, but.
Well, Haley, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Been a pleasure having you with us
Thank
today.
you.
Happy birthday in advance.
Happy
Thank
birthday
you,
in
Haley.
advance.
Yeah, happy birthday in advance.
Thank you.
Great to have you
Good
with
luck.
us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Haley McCone joining us here in the booth. And we'll see her at Fenway. Kyle Martin out of the bullpen here. It's a 5-3 Yankee lead. We are into the 9th. First visit here to JetBlue Park for the Yankees. First meeting between the two ancient rivals. The ones that count begin April the 10th. Aaron Boone, the first-year skipper. And that'll go all the way to the backstop on ball 4. So with 2 down, the Yankees have a base runner. Well, it's been a very busy, very productive day for us. Red Sox Foundation Day here at JetBlue Park. Thank you so much for being with us. We hope that you will bid in the auction for the game used jerseys with the foundation patch. You can continue to do that as we speak. We'll be taking your bids right now.
These spring training jerseys down here, they have the little Florida thing on them too, so it's kind of a cool spring training jersey with the Foundation Day game signed by one of the guys. Be a nice one to have.
And Martin with a 1-0. Place a bid for a game worn jersey at redsox.com/RSF auction. Auctioning going until the 16th of March. Martin with a 2-0 with a runner going, and it's knocked foul back out of play. So Jacoby Ellsbury tweaked something the other day in the Yankees camp. And reportedly the Yankees had been discussing a trade involving Ellsbury with Arizona. Jacoby's owed about, projecting as like a 5th outfielder for this Yankee club. Fly it into right. Barfield to the warning track will make the play, and that will retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 9th here at JetBlue Park, and the Yankees are up by 2. Already here at Fort Myers, and the Yankees with a 5-3 lead. Red Sox trying to bounce back and snag a win here in spring training. If not, they'll try again tomorrow over in Sarasota. Now, the last time the Red Sox and the Yankees had a new manager in the same year, both teams, was 1992.
Wow.
Can you name those managers?
Buck Showalter.
Correct. For the Yankees, that was a Buck Showalter year.
And
Kevin Kennedy?
No, before him.
Not Kevin Kennedy. Barfield floats a foul out of play.
Oh, it was
Joe Morgan?
I'll give you a hint. He played third base in his career for the Red Sox.
Hobson.
Oh, yeah.
Butch Hobson. Yep.
Now,
1992.
Now I'm embarrassed there because I should have known, because I actually played for that team. But I came back. I didn't start there. I started in Atlanta, and then I came back to the team for.
What, were you there for a week that you don't remember your manager?
Well, he never played me, so I didn't have any reason to remember him.
So you would have been sitting next to him a lot. You should have known his name.
I went to the other end, man.
Hey, Skip, I'm still here.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I came back 4 different times. There was always a different manager, so I got confused, you know?
You kept coming back, though.
Yeah, that was good for me. I know that. Then 93 when I came back, it was still Hobson.
It was great to see my partner Jerry Remy out at the ballpark today. Rem got down here to Fort Myers yesterday, and
he looks fantastic. I saw him this morning.
He does look good.
He really does. Sounds great.
Yeah.
We'll be doing a number of broadcasts right at the end of the spring training schedule. This one's sky to center. Robinson still creeping in. 1 man out.
Well, I'll tell you, Obie, you did one of your greatest jobs of juggling ever today. Spring training game, 1 million different players, half of which we don't know. a guest every inning from the foundation up in the booth.
Well, I can't tell you, what a great thrill it is to have Wake here, because Wake is so intimately tied to the Red Sox Foundation, and you know everybody who comes into the booth, and if you haven't known them, they've been fans of yours forever, and I think it's great that you take the time every year to do this, Wake. I know how important it is to you, what it means to you, but thanks so much for being here.
I appreciate it. It is an honor to do this game and to promote the Red Sox Foundation and what it means to the family and children of New England, and to hear the stories. I mean, we hit every cornerstone and then some of the Red Sox Foundation, and it's great to finally introduce Becca, the new executive director, who's bringing a lot of energy to the Red Sox Foundation. And
Becca's great. She's going to be a big hit.
She is, and just to hear the stories of what the Red Sox Foundation meant to all of our guests today on the telecast. So it's been my honor to be a part of this for so long, and I want to continue to do that.
Thank you for everything you do, and we appreciate all the involvement by members of the Red Sox organization in this day, and their continued outstanding work in the Red Sox Foundation year-round. And I know for all of them, it's a labor of love.
It is. They do a lot of work in that office for the Red Sox Foundation, and I applaud every one of them.
Zhu Wei Lin, maybe the last man to hit today. Bases empty, 2 down in the 9th. Yankees ahead 5-3. Tomorrow, Red Sox taking on the Orioles at 1 o'clock on Nesson.
Start it all over again.
Spring training 2018. Hopes are so high for both of these franchises. Just sky high for the Red Sox and Yankees. Holder trying to finish it off here. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And popped him up down the left field line. Cruising down into the corner, a sliding effort, and an outstanding catch made on.
Wow, what an impressive catch that was.
Sliding stab to end it.